Shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. We have some comfortable temperatures out there today. It's warm this afternoon. We'll have partly cloudy skies with a high of 85, but this is the coolest day in the next 7 days. We have some pretty big heat working in by the time we get to Thursday. Wednesday is still okay with a high temperature of 87.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock, check of your money. Dow Jones is down 142 points to 38,725.
Smith trying to finish out this game. Phelps, first pitch swinging to center. Serrano is under it. He's pumping his fist. He made the catch! For the second time in the last 4 years, NC State is headed to the Men's College World Series. It's a dog pile in the infield.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You heard it right there. NC State backed us up. Yesterday, we asked on behalf of the entire Atlantic Coast Conference, NC State take down Georgia, make it a 4-4 level playing field in Omaha between the ACC and the SEC, and they did just that.
Let's go.
Backed it up, dogpiled against Georgia, and Georgia's home field, home diamond. I'll tell you what, how can you not be romantic about baseball? NC State back to Omaha for the second time in the last 4 years. They've really got something cranking there in the baseball facility. Elliott Event, their coach, on wanting his guys to make it to Omaha.
I wanted these guys to go so bad. Some of them's last chances, AMAC's last chances, Logan Whitaker's last chance, Noah Soul, Sam Highfield, the list goes on and on and on. And for the guys that could sign, you know what I'm saying, it's their last shot. And there's nothing like walking on that field in Omaha, Nebraska for the ceremony, which we missed in 21 walking out there because of COVID. And can't wait to see those guys do that.
Event there with a sentiment that I think you're going to hear a lot of, which is maybe some unfinished business due to things outside of their control from the 2021 College Baseball World Series in Omaha due to COVID. I think you're going to hear quite a bit of that for NC State. But the thing to take away from this year's team is they were not the biggest, the most daunted team, the most hyped up team. Cruised through their regional, fought hard, got the win on the road in their super regional. And now they're actually going to kind of be like the Spartan Warrior of the ACC on the SEC side of the bracket. They'll be over trying to make it an all-ACC final with the other three ACC teams on the opposite side of the bracket. Avent with more on his team doing it the right way.
They've been so unbelievable the last 10 weeks of the season. Ever since we went to Clemson, they've been as good a team as you can be. They do things the right way. They play hard. They run hard all the time. And they do things the way they're supposed to do it on and off the field. I haven't had a curfew here, and I don't think JT said like twice, and he played for me. He said he had one in his 4 years here, but I haven't had a curfew like 10 years. You recruit men, you trust them, they trust you back, and you try to build something. And if you got the right people, then silly stuff like that doesn't even need to come in place. I'm just really proud of this team.
Here's where it gets interesting, right? Because obviously it's a massively successful season for NC State baseball. Massively successful season for that program. Is it the greatest NC State athletics year of all time? Is it when you encapsulate North Carolina State athletics program as a whole, is it the greatest, like 2023, 2024, the greatest school year of all time? Well, to back it up, they are the third athletics program in NCAA history to reach the Final Four in men's basketball, women's basketball, finish in the top 25 of the final CFP poll, and make it to Omaha in the College Baseball World Series. Just the third ever, with 03 Texas and 13 Louisville. And as we discussed off air earlier, 13 Louisville, I mean, that men's basketball run might not even exist in the history book.
It doesn't. They had to vacate it. And they weren't an ACC team back then, so that's fine.
So there you go. So that's one of two teams. Obviously, the only team to do it this year. Is it the best NC State athletics season, athletics school year of all time? To me, it's a 2-year race. I went back, did some research. Obviously, went to the years where NC State won the men's basketball national championship, because you figure that's a good place to start with a national championship. And in the 1982 football year, which would have been a part of the 82-83 school year, mm-hmm. which is the Jimmy V year, football went 6-5 and was never ranked. So it's hard to put that ahead. It's the 1973-74 year that I think gives a run. Football finished ranked 16th in the country.
Okay.
Baseball went 23-10-1, made it to District 3 regionals. Basketball, men's basketball, won a national championship, and women's basketball started less than a year later. So it's like this run was so good it birthed the women's basketball that went to a Final Four this year. So for different reasons, I think those are the two best years in athletics and in totality, especially when you look at revenue sports, especially when you look at kind of the headline sports, the front porch sports. I think it is a 2-year race, 82-83 and 2023-2024. Do you know how I would like this to end? With baseball making it a slam door conversation, right? Because I'll say they're about even right now. And one of, the 1982-83 year is not going to get any better. The 1973-74 year is not going to get any better, right? It's not like the football team can go back, they finish 16th and go, well, actually, we're going to play in an expanded playoff and win it all.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to change now. The 2023-2024 season is still active. If NC State wins a national championship, which they're one of 8 teams, I think with a pretty good slam dunk, this becomes the best fully encaptured athletic season in NC State history. I could hear some arguments for, well, a national championship kind of trumps everything. I could hear that.
Sure.
And if that's the way you want to operate, that's the way you want to operate. But top to bottom, right, fully complete, like a basketball team that isn't just getting the ball to their leading scorer every time, top to 1 through 12 on the roster, I think you take this year. Think about it. 11 seed runs to the Final Four after needing 5 straight winner-go-home conference championship games.
Mm-hmm.
Women's basketball team, again, not a favorite, although a much higher seed than their men, run to the Final Four. The football team goes through everything they go through. Quarterback changes, the red shirt stuff, starting running back, starting quarterback, all deciding to redshirt midseason. They end up in the top 25 and in the very prestigious Pop-Tart Bowl. Although I will say, if you went back to the 1973-74 teams and said you're going to lose on this one because the football team reached the Pop-Tart Bowl in 2024, they would have looked at you like, I'm sorry, what now? We're losing to the Pop-Tarts? I haven't watched the Jerry Seinfeld movie, but I'm not sure when the Pop-Tart was invented. They might not even know what it is. I don't know what year that took place. The point is this. Talk your trash, NC State. It was a very good year for you. Like, you know, we kind of talked about this with the men's basketball run a little bit, going like, there's no guarantees this is going to happen again anytime soon. 41 years it took you to wait to go from Final Four to Final Four. Enjoy this season because these types of runs, these types of heaters are not guaranteed to happen every single year or even every single 5 years or every single decade. Enjoy it when it happens and talk your trash. You get to, like, if you share a cubicle or a cubicle little area with somebody that goes to your rival, talk your trash right now. This is the time you get to do it. Right? Stand on business, stand on results. You have the results right now. And yes, just in case you're wondering, I do want it to be an NC State-UNC final. They're on opposite sides of the bracket. Let's get a national championship between two teams right here in the Triangle, and let's bring the national championship back to Durham and play it in Durham. That's what I mean by that. I'm here for it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on to our next thing and our next question in the 99 questions leading up to college football, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. If you have not looked on their website yet, you can see all the things that they have to offer at Deep River, from their school, their classes. Obviously, you can do rounds of clays. They have an online store for you. But there's some things out there when you contact them, if you want to do a round of clays. Let's say you want to bring family. Maybe you want to bring something for Dad for Father's Day. Hey, Dad, Father's Day gift. We're going to go to Deep River at some point this year. Contact Deep River in advance. Let them know that you're going to bring the family, you're going to bring a bunch of friends involved, and book the outdoor pavilions that they have going on. So after you get done with your round of clays, they can have food and drink sitting there ready for you. So when you get done with your round of clays, you can sit down, enjoy your time still together. So it's more than just a place to shoot. That's what Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School gives you. By the way, when you swing down to Deep River, let them know that you heard about here on 99.9 The Fan. Get yourself a free T-shirt while you're at it. So, again, go to deepriversportingclays.com, and when you go do your round of clays, mention you heard it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Get yourself a free T-shirt.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The next question in our line of 99 questions about the college football season, leading you right up to opening kickoff, coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I think it's the most elite hot dog you can get is a Chicago dog. It's delicious. Do not knock it until you've tried it.
I understand it's a delicacy. It's unique to Chicago, but I'm over that. I don't necessarily need to have that. I think it's too much on a hot dog. A hot dog, maybe you want to put some sauteed onions, maybe a little bit of relish, but I think that's about all that belongs on the hot dog.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's Men's Health Month. I'm Tim Donnelly here with Dr. Parikh from WakeMed Heart and Vascular. Doctor, can you take us through what exactly heart failure is and how common it is?
I think of myself more as a heart function doctor rather than a heart failure doctor. But heart failure, it can sound scary. It doesn't mean your heart is about to stop. It's a pumping problem. And so a heart can either be stiff and not fill properly, or it can be weaker and not pump properly, and really your body is not getting as much blood as it needs from the heart. It is somewhat common. So after age 40, 1 in 5 Americans will have heart failure at some point in their life. There's over 6 million people living with it in this country today. You really want to talk to your doctor about whether you're at risk for heart failure and if you should start screening for it, and really try to follow a heart-healthy lifestyle so you can prevent it from happening in the first place.
If you have any questions, you want to learn more about heart health, go to wakemed.org.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. Date the rate, marry the house, a phrase often used by realtors to describe the difference between keeping your new forever home as opposed to your mortgage rate, which you'll only keep until something better comes along, kind of like speed dating. A recent study by the Wall Street Journal further supports this notion by finding the average life of a loan to be less than 4 years. Their suggestion? Find a no-fee loan, which is exactly what Miller Lending has been telling you since 1996. With no closing costs of any kind, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance each time something better comes along. So while builders promote buy-downs with over $10,000 in closing costs, or lenders advertise crazy low rates with even more, Miller Lending continues to be the leader in the no-cost mortgage. So before you throw away thousands of needless fees, pick up the phone and call your local neighborhood lender, Miller Lending and Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
Houston, permission to detach boosters.
Negative, Commander. You're off course for the moon. Sensors show something massive on board. Did you bring additional items?
Only the new loaded scratch-offs.
Those are loaded with $50, $100, $500, and $2,000 prizes. You're on a trajectory towards Mars.
Nice. First person on Mars. Take that, billionaires.
New loaded scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Massive amounts of prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.8 to 4.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
Enjoy savings every day when you get a McDouble, McChicken, and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus, get any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.29. Price and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's. Save $40 on select 5-gallon HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams paint, like Weather Shield, Showcase, or Ceiling Paint. Plus, save $10 on drywall PVA primer and get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid through 6/14. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 99 questions about the college football season to count down to the beginning of the college football season. It is June. We've been doing this for a while now, and we're going to do this all the way up to opening kick. And today we are focused on the non-conference schedule. Who in the Triangle has the toughest non-conference schedule? Now, this is always a little interesting, right? Because some of these games are scheduled like 10 years in advance, which actually is always funny when you schedule a team. Like, say you're a Power 5 or Power 4. I got to get used to saying that. A Power 4 team, and you schedule some lowly Group of 5 squad or maybe even an FCS squad like 7 years into the future. They catch a heater. Right? They recruit well. They get the coach, the it coach or whatever. By the time the game rolls around, you're bringing in like a borderline top 30, top 25 team.
Yeah.
And by the way, it doesn't really help you that much when it comes to college football playoff rankings or anything, because all the committee sees is you played a non-conference Group of 5 team. So you win close. They're not going like, oh, what a great win. You win close. They're going, ooh, didn't blow out a Group of 5 team, did you there? Which I actually think plays directly into the answer of which Triangle team has the toughest non-conference schedule. Because let's just be real. There's one team that isn't competitive with their non-conference schedule, and I think it's actually good for them this year because they're in a transitional period, and that's Duke. Duke plays Elon. They play Northwestern. They play UConn. They play Middle Tennessee. Now, I'll give you this. I think they should play UConn every year. I want Duke-UConn to be a rivalry across all sports.
Hey, I'm for it.
They played in baseball, right? They were in the same regional, maybe?
Yeah.
Their football team played last year. Duke smoked them.
Playing it again this year.
Their basketball programs obviously have a bit of a rivalry over the last 30 years. And then their football teams are both kind of basketball school, quote-unquote, that is trying to pour money and become more of a football school. So I want that to be a rivalry. I have no problem with them playing UConn every year. Northwestern is the crown jewel of their non-conference schedule, and anytime you describe Northwestern as a crown jewel, that probably says enough right there.
Hey, you talk about a team in transition.
Elon, that's a nice local tune-up.
That's right down the road.
Middle Tennessee, a program that at times has put something together, but probably not right now. So Duke has
solid group of 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the easiest.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it – we're going to talk about one of the more scary group of 5s in a few minutes here. I would not put Middle Tennessee on that level. So Duke is third. Duke's non-conference schedule is third. But like I said, new coach, new quarterback, new defensive system. They've got a lot of new. I'm not sure they want to roll a gauntlet out there of like, look at this, we're going to USC and Gainesville. Like, I just don't know if that's where they should be going. The next two, it's tough. It's really a philosophy thing because I believe NC State has the single most difficult non-conference game, and that's Tennessee in the Mayo Classic, the Duke's Mayo Classic. They play Western Carolina, Tennessee, Louisiana Tech, and Northern Illinois. That's NC State's non-conference. UNC's non-conference starts with Minnesota, then Charlotte, NC Central, and James Madison. I think it's very easy to just chalk this one up as State has the harder non-conference schedule because they play Tennessee. But I'm going to give some credit to someone I don't want to give credit to. I'm going to give some credit to James Madison.
I know you don't like that.
I don't like them.
You don't like that.
I will say this as a University of Delaware grad. We did not lose to James Madison. Back when I was playing, it was we did not do it. Now, I mean, they were a top 25 program at times last year. So, and we were still in the FCS at the moment, although we're moving up. So maybe I give a little bit of credit to them, but I'm just looking at them on paper, right? Take away the gaudy purple and the foolish nickname and the fans that aren't as invested as they should. And you just look at their team on paper, they're a pretty good team. So whatever difference Tennessee is more difficult than Minnesota as kind of a premier non-conference game, I think James Madison makes up for by being a group of 5 team that is going to give you a much stiffer test than you were hoping for, than you bargained for. UNC, especially in their kind of transition, right, with 3 draft picks and a quarterback on the way out and needing to replenish the reserves a bit, do not sleep on James Madison because they will sneak up on you. I don't even know if it's a sneak up on you. They'll beat you, right? There's one thing, any group of 5 school, I don't want to say any, but like what you were saying about Middle Tennessee, like any solid group of 5 program, if you completely sleep on them, they can catch you, right? If they're the group of 5 is they especially early in the season before maybe like the biggest difference to me between Power 5 and Group of 5 and then Group of 5 and FCS is depth, right? You can have really good players in your starting lineup in the Group of 5. The problem is, a Power 5 school or Power 4 school has really good players on their 2 deep or 3 deep. That's the difference. So, the longer a game goes on, the bigger the advantage becomes. The longer the season goes on, the bigger the advantage becomes. So early in the season, any Group of 5 can catch you if you overlook them. James Madison is one of the few Group of 5s you don't have to overlook. They can just catch you and straight up beat you. They've got an offense that has been wildly efficient, and they have some systems that are really difficult to face. So you don't have to overlook them to get beat. You need to show up and play like you do any other Power 5 team.
They're like App. They're like App State in that regard.
They're like, yeah.
You can't disrespect them. Can't say like, they're just a Group of 5 school. No, they'll beat you, and they'll take it to you, too.
App has been there. Coastal Carolina has been there.
Coastal very much.
There's a few Group of 5 teams that have gotten to that point, and actually, App State very similarly, and Coastal very similarly, jumping up from FCS and kind of being one of those Group of 5 teams within 7, 8, 9 years of that jump. So I'm giving it to UNC. UNC with the more difficult non-conference schedule, NC State with the most difficult non-conference game, but UNC is the one that is going to be tested more regularly in the non-conference schedule. I don't know if that's by design. I don't know if that's what they intended when these games were scheduled, but that's the way it's going to be for the Tar Heels this year. Their season is a very, very interesting one. Very interesting one. for UNC based on, the order of their games and everything they have going on.
All right, so Duke, easiest non-conference.
Yep.
State right there, too, and just above them, Carolina, most difficult overall.
With the single most difficult game being Tennessee-NC State.
Yeah, neutral site down in Charlotte.
Should be fun.
Be a fun time.
All three schools have some very interesting games on their schedule that I'm looking forward to this year. But that could also just be the middle of the summers, right? Like a warm glass of dirty water after you've been in the desert for 2 days. It's like, that looks like the most refreshing thing on the planet. Maybe there are some non-conference games that are like, I don't know if that's actually a good game. But in June 11th, boy, do they look like a good time right now.
I feel great about playing football right now.
You're darn right we do, Dave Canales, on the opening day of mandatory minicamps for the Panthers. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Once again, here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. If you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident, I know not many people out there ride motorcycles, but if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, if you want the people that represent you when it comes to your accident, when you want people that are in your corner, right? You want people that know what you're going through when you've gone through an accident, know what your gear are worth, know what your bike's worth, having been through that experience before, and that's where Law Tigers comes in. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand, again, what your gear is worth, what you're going through after an accident, what it's like to be out there on the road, and that's why you got to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Insurance companies, they want to pay you the least amount of money possible. Law Tigers, they're there for you. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. Again, they're riders too. They know exactly what you're going through. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We may have gotten a hint on who will be the Canes GM. I'll tell you who it might be next.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% on your choice of any 10 or more stock kitchen cabinets and countertops. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us for the materials you need. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details.
Hey y'all. Happy summer from Oak City Customs. We have a lot of cool things happening, including new offerings on custom sun sails, pergolas, outdoor tables and furnishings, raised garden beds, and so much more. All fully customizable and available in any size. We also are now hosting official shop tours for you to experience this unique fabrication process in person. Come visit us or check us out further at oakcitycustoms.com. We look forward to meeting you.
Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, here to share why Bailey's is consistently voted best place to buy your diamond. First off, our amazing selection of diamonds is unparalleled. We also have hundreds of the most coveted engagement ring styles to fit any budget. You can also utilize our vast selection of loose diamond inventory and custom workshop to create your dream ring. And if that's not enough, we also offer an unprecedented lifetime diamond guarantee. I invite you to come see for yourself. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money, your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get you your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
Hey, it's Victoria with 99.9 The Fan with a Men's Health Month tip from WakeMed Heart and Vascular.
Tyler, each year smoking causes more than 480,000 deaths in the United States. That's nearly 1 in 5 deaths. Those aren't odds you want to play with. Don't put off kicking the habit. In just 1 year after quitting, a person's risk for coronary heart disease decreases by half. Learn more about how you can quit and get started today, plus other ways to care for your heart at wakemed.org.
This Father's Day, give Dad the gift that keeps on giving with the Butcher's Market Steak of the Month Club. Dad will enjoy a fresh, hand-cut steak every month for 6 months, like a prime New York strip steak, a Brazilian picanha, a petite sirloin roast, and a thick-cut T-bone steak, just to name a few. Plus great bonus items like burgundy wine marinated mushrooms and so much more. The Steak of the Month Club is exciting, easy, and just perfect for Dad. Sign up today at any of the Butcher's Market's 6 Triangle locations or at thebutchersmarkets.com. Now open at Lake Boone Trail.
It's here, the Chatley Boat and Marine Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats for 6 days only, June 10th through the 15th. Boats as low as $300 a month. Rebates up to $8,000 plus special financing. Large inventory ready for immediate delivery. All boats are water tested before delivery on the Chatley on-site test lake. The Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats June 10th through the 15th. Open nightly until 6:30, Saturday until 3, only at Chatley Boat and Marine in Sanford.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Where can you find a place that not only offers amazing food, but also a super unique and fun atmosphere? Hey, it's Victoria Bodenecker here to tell you that place is Norse Brewing Company in Wake Forest. There's also Norse Brewing Longhouse in Zebulon, but both locations offer a mouth-watering menu with a Scandinavian twist. They also make all of their adult beverages in-house. Plus, speaking of the aesthetic, you will completely embrace your inner Viking when you go here. Don't just take my word for it, though. Please go check them out for yourself. Find out more information at norsebrewingco.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It feels like 6 months since Don Waddell resigned from his position as the GM of the Carolina Hurricanes. Hasn't quite been that long, but I believe it's been too long. Maybe not that long, but still too long. Which is why last night, shortly after we got off the show, I read this tweet from Frank Saravalli, and I went, maybe this is the beginning of the end of our wondering of who the Canes GM will be. Again, this is from Frank Saravalli. This is not from the Canes. This is not an official announcement of any kind, but this is what it says. Sources say candidates in the Carolina GM search have been notified that the team plans to fill the role internally. Believe that means Eric Tulsky will become the next Canes GM. He has been interim GM since Don Waddell resigned to join the Columbus Blue Jackets. End of tweet. Now, first of all, although it does appear that way, we have not been confirmed that Don Waddell resigned to join the Columbus Blue Jackets. He resigned and then a couple days later accepted the job with the Columbus Blue Jackets. You can connect dots if you want to.
Well, there was reported that he was given permission
to interview with them prior to resigning, yes. Eric Tulsky was the assistant GM prior to Don Waddell's departure, and reportedly was part of what we've been calling this Knights of the Round Table. So he was already, occupying a seat at the decision-making table, which I believe that structure right there is part of what's made it so difficult to fill the GM role, is because traditional GM candidates don't want to come in somewhere where they're going to be, 1/5 of the decision-making process. They want to come in somewhere where they might have people with influence or people with opinion, people that are part of the decision-making process, but GMs want to have the final decision. And it doesn't appear as if that's how it goes with the Canes. It's much more of a, I don't even know if the majority rules. We have to come to a consensus. Let's all get in a room and hash this out. And that's not as attractive to GMs. So Eric Tulsky, who advanced degree analytically minded, smart school, knows the numbers, knows the analytics behind a hockey decision, again, according to Frank Saravalli, has a good chance of becoming the next Canes GM. To me, there's still a few things that need to be done. First of all, the number one thing I would say, if that ends up being the case, is congratulations to Eric Tulsky. No pressure, but you got about a year or two to win a cup before everybody starts getting pretty upset. The next thing I would say is, all right, perfect. If it is Eric Tulsky's job, how do you give him the support he needs? Right? Think of a front office like a team. Okay? Think of a front office. We'll use a hockey team as the example. We could use any sport, but we'll use a hockey team since we're talking hockey.
Go on.
If you have a player who is an exceptional setup guy, you need to surround him with shooters, right? You need to surround him with scorers. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, if you have your guy, your cornerstone that you're going to build around, who is a assassin, a sniper, a shooter, you're going to need to get him around people that know how to play the spacing and know how to work off of that attention and know how to build off of that. Like there are good fits and bad fits. You need to identify what Eric Tulsky's strengths are, and you need to identify what Eric Tulsky's weaknesses are, and then you need to go find people that can support him that overcome those weaknesses. It's been said on this program a bunch that I believe, and Dennis, I believe you back me up on this, that Don Waddell in a lot of ways was the hockey guy. And what I mean by that is the person that's been in the NHL for a long time, the person that played the game at a high level, the person that understood kind of the way things work. Right? And you need both. Right? You need somebody that understands the analytics and the future of the game and the innovation of the game and all of that, but you also need someone to look at him and go, that doesn't make much sense. Right? The whole ready for this?
Okay.
Is a tomato a fruit?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. Right? And smart people know both. Right? You need the person that's like, well, technically the seeds are on the inside of the fruit, and that makes it a technical member of the fruit family. And you need someone there going like, if I bite into some honeydew, a strawberry, some blackberries, and a tomato, it's not going to taste good in the fruit salad. Eric Tulsky is the guy sitting there saying like, well, actually, we need a little bit better defensive pairing because this pairing is not aligning with how good they are individually in different pairings. And then you need someone there going like, yeah, we also need someone to be recklessly physical that's just going to intimidate and protect Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis because that's the way hockey works. Right? You need somebody, you need both, right? You need somebody to say, hey, I think when we're trading Martin Necas, Vancouver might be a team we should look to because they have X, Y, and Z player or contract situation or prospect that will, our analytics say is going to work. And then you need someone to say, great, I know the GM in Vancouver. We play golf together in the offseason. Let me give him a call and see if I can't figure out what they're looking for. You need both. So if you get rid of Don Waddell without replacing what he brought to the table, that's going to be a struggle. Now, if Eric Tulsky was the numbers guy for Don Waddell, now he moves into the number one chair. He moves into the GM chair. That's fine. I think you'd probably need an assistant GM, a consultant, a someone else to be in the room where they're making decisions that has more of that other thing, right? You need to balance. If you have a guy that, in basketball, if you have a guy that likes to drive, well, the other backcourt better like to shoot. Like it's a give and a take. It's a yin and a yang. It's however you want to describe it. That's where the Canes are.
There are things that you can't measure in terms of analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, go back to the last game that the Carolina Hurricanes played against the New York Rangers at home. Like Jordan Martin sliding back to save a puck off the goal line. Show me that in the analytics.
Yep.
Like, that's the kind of that's the kind of compete, the heart and soul that our team needs. There it is right there. Quantify the numbers however you want. I still need that dude on my team.
My equation says this player is going to be great for us. And then somebody has to say, actually, I talked to a guy who's been in his locker room the last 2 years. When Rod yells at him, he's gonna wilt.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, don't want to bring that guy into the Canes. You know what I mean? When Rod asks him to play our system, which is exhausting, he's gonna pout. And I'm not saying there's anyone out there with that exact, but you need to make both checks. Because I've seen it, right? This is a little different, but I played college football. I remember transfers coming in that the coaches were so excited about, right? Because back in the day before the transfer portal, I played at the FCS level, the old 1AA level, and you didn't have to sit out to transfer from FBS to FCS. Mm-hmm. So we used to play that to our advantage. We used to bring in transfers. They'd play right away. We were a pipeline from the University of Maryland to the University of Delaware. And every once in a while, there'd be a transfer. I remember one coming in from UConn. Our coaches were so excited. He's getting here. There's one kid that came in from Auburn that they were so excited about. And I'll tell you what, that first day of practice, we were all excited about him because it was like big, fast, strong. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. About halfway through camp, never mind, because you realize that like 2-a-days, this guy gave up. And you're going like, the 6'4", 230, runs a 4.5. Looked good on paper.
Yeah.
I'm sure the analytics said it was going to be great. You can put a little adversity in front of them, they trail off. And that's nothing that would show up on the back of their trading card, right? None of those statistics would show that. You need both. So Eric Tulsky, if he's named the GM, great. I still think there's some tweaking they need to make to their front office, and maybe it's a hire that Eric Tulsky would make, assistant GM, consultant, something that can fill that side of the room as well. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's something for you. Golf's third major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we bring you the U.S. Open from Pinehurst. Our coverage is there it is. Our coverage is teed up by McConnell Golf, owner and operator of 16 private golf clubs where members enjoy playing privileges at top-ranked courses. McConnell Golf, the best private club value from the mountains to the coast. I'm getting excited for that, by the way.
We'll be down there tomorrow.
We'll be down at the U.S. Open in Pinehurst for the final day of practice rounds tomorrow, broadcasting live from right about the range, which means you'll be getting in-depth details of who looks great at the range from yours truly.
See, this is where you got to follow us on YouTube because we live stream the show video-wise on YouTube. That is going to be a perfect place for you to sit there and just watch in the background. Like, all right, who's teeing off back there? Is that Shoffley? Oh, that's DeChambeau.
DeChambeau swinging through his shoes. Why is he hitting 400-yard nukes when he's got to play tomorrow? But tee times have come out and stuff, so we'll be getting into all of that tomorrow, and then obviously talking about it and coverage of throughout the tournament once it truly tees off on Thursday. Right now, the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals are both 2-0. I have to admit, I'm gonna have to start rooting for the Edmonton Oilers a bit more aggressively in the Stanley Cup Finals, just because I don't like blowouts. 2-0. Panthers are up 2-0. And guess what? If there's something, we were always looking for something to learn from, right? How can the Canes learn from the teams that are having success? If there's one way I think I can describe the reason why the Panthers are ahead 2-0 over the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup Finals, it is this: physicality. Physicality. If you made me name 3 words on why the Florida Panthers are up 2-0 on the Edmonton Oilers, the 3 words would be physicality, and Bobrovsky. It's that would be it.
Yeah,
that would be it. And the irony of it is the Barkov hit on Draisaitl is what's getting all of the Draisaitl hit on Barkov.
Yes.
Reverse it, strike it, flip it.
Yes, Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers threw a nice little elbow into the head of Alexander Barkov of the Florida Panthers.
That's what's getting so much of the headlines and the sound bites, and we'll play one for you here in a second from Florida Panthers head coach Paul Maurice. I'm going to be honest. Obviously, if Barkov can't play, that's huge. But I do think it might have been a mistake by Draisaitl to get into that world. I'll explain why in a second. Here's Paul Maurice on the hit.
Paul, I do want to ask you about the evolution defensively of this team since you've arrived, but just quickly, because I think you're holding back. How do you feel about the hit on Barkov?
This isn't the Oprah Winfrey Show. My feelings don't matter.
First of all, I love the question. I feel like you're holding back. This isn't the Oprah Winfrey Show, he says in response. My feelings don't matter. That's fantastic.
That's just cold, man. That's a cold response.
That's fantastic. If this were the Oprah Winfrey Show, we'd bring out Dr. Phil and you'd spill your feelings, but it's not. My feelings don't matter. Which, right there, the best part about that is by saying this is not the Oprah Winfrey Show, my feelings don't matter, his feelings are perfectly conveyed, right?
Oh, 100%.
Which is the way to do it. League can't get mad at you. There's no fines coming, but everybody knows, like he said, this isn't the Oprah Winfrey Show, my feelings don't matter, but it kind of sounded like he said, that's a terribly dirty hit, and the league has to address it, and I'm absolutely furious, and who knows what's going to happen in Game 3 because of it. But that's not what he said, which is genius. Very well played by Paul Maurice, a guy with connections right here to Carolina. But here's where I think it might backfire on Draisaitl. Do you really want to turn this into more of a physical brawl with the Panthers? Like, if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing the Bill Belichick talking about the opponent upcoming this week, right? Bill Belichick would be playing like the Jets with Cleo Lemon as the quarterback, and he'd be up there in the press conference on Tuesday like, Lemon's doing some really good things. He's really developing into a great player. I'm excited to play him. He might be the best quarterback we've played this year. And everyone's going like, his first name is Cleo.
Yeah, it's like Nick Saban, Alabama's playing McNeese State. It's like, all right, come on.
It's like, McNeese State, they're turning things around. I was telling Miss Terry that McNeese State is one of the best programs at their level, and if we don't show up ready to play, they're gonna beat the Crimson Tide. And it's like that's what I'd be doing if I were the Oilers. I'd be going, the Panthers, oh, they're unbelievable. They're up 2-0. They're great. Why? Because I know if I'm the Oilers, I lose the fist fight. The first 2 games, you've lost the fist fight. You're not strong enough. You need to turn it into a finesse game. You need to turn it into a track meet. You need to turn it into a couple of buddies out there playing hockey when the goal is to get nobody hurt. The goal is definitely not to get nobody hurt when you're hurting Barkov. Now you have the Panthers, and especially if Barkov can play. If he doesn't, maybe it's a wash. But now you have the Florida Panthers with bloodthirst. And they were beating your tail when they didn't have that, when they just thought they were playing for the cup. Now they're playing for the cup and revenge. Now they're out there like what's the guy's name? Who's Gladiator? The guy in who's the main character? I'm seeing his face.
Marcus Aurelius.
The Maximus, whatever. Yeah. Who's the guy that plays who's the actor?
Oh, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. Oh. Goodness gracious, that would have been in the back of my head all day. Russell Crowe is out there like, I'm husband to a murdered wife, father to a murdered son, and I will have my vengeance. Right now, if Barkov doesn't play, the entire Florida Panthers organization is going to be like, teammate to a hurt Barkov, chaser of the cup, and I will have my vengeance.
And there's also, here's the thing, a couple former Carolina Hurricanes actually got into it yesterday. So Warren Fogle, former Carolina Hurricane, a big series in 2019 against Washington, had a knee-on-knee hit against Eetu Luostarinen, a former Carolina Hurricane. And Luostarinen goes limp into the locker room as well. And Fogle got a match penalty, like kicked out of the game for it. So it's like, man, you're getting roughed up around the edges a little bit, but I don't know. Florida Panthers might be limping in a little bit with a couple of their top guys out, possibly.
And anyone that replaces them is going to be a heat-seeking missile.
Possibly. I mean, you're going to miss Barkov, especially because he's the guy that's matched up against Connor McDavid and has been shutting him down.
And I completely – well, the other person that's been shutting him down is Bobrovsky.
Well, yeah, but there's a reason why. Like in this last game, Florida controlled the game.
Yep, and actually way more so than game one.
Oh, by far.
But I'm just thinking about this, and I'm going like, I don't know if this is the one you want to pick a fight with. I think this is the one you want to try to take their edge away. right? Because you're down 2-0. You're going to need every advantage you can possibly find. And if you can get a mental edge in some way, that's going to go a long way. And trust me, no one is letting up on you when you're being accused of dirty hits.
One thing that stuck out to me post-game, Paul Maurice has been there for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
The year before he got there, Florida Panthers won the President's Trophy. They were scoring goals left and right. One of the top scoring teams. First round of the playoff, swept. Done. Out. And they made some changes with their roster. That's where they got rid of Jonathan Huberdeau. They got in Matthew Tkachuk. They made a lot of changes to the roster. And Paul Maurice said, yeah, what they were doing, cool, great in the regular season, wasn't working in the postseason. I brought postseason style hockey to this team because they needed it. And that shows you the physicality, obviously the guys that can skate and score, but the physicality that's needed for the postseason, it's like, well, it's funny because that's what the Carolina Hurricanes are trying to be. They're built pretty much exactly the same in terms of structure and style.
I would say 15% less physical and Bobrovsky.
Yeah, that's it. It's like that shows you how close Carolina is. Like that's exactly what you're seeing right now. Florida Panthers for the last 2 years is exactly who the Carolina Hurricanes are trying to be.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. In time for Father's Day, we want to help you recognize Dear Old Dad. Text DAD, that's D-A-D, to 919-860-5326. Click the link and nominate a deserving father figure in your life to win a grilling prize pack. Dear Old Dad is served up by Carolina Ale House, where all dads get a free varsity burger this Father's Day. Dear Old Dad. Text DAD to 919-860-5326. Quickly here, every once in a while I like to call out why everybody that isn't a diehard Duke fan hates Duke. And it hit me this morning. ESPN.com puts out an article, list of bests, put out a bests for the NBA draft. It was kind of in the vibe of like, I don't know if you notice this when you're like sitting in like your barber shop, they have like a little thing that says like, best barbershop in town, 2017 and 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, you're in a diner and they're like, best hash browns voted, 2022 and 2024. And I'm just like, what happened in 2023? So they kind of did that, right? And there were things like best pick and roll finisher, Zach Edey, Purdue. Best ball handler, Rob Dillingham, Kentucky. So all these prospects going into the draft. Best pick and roll ball handler, it was somebody from overseas.
Best outside shooter, all that stuff.
And Duke has 2 expected first-round picks, right? It's Kyle Filipowski, it's Jared McCain. And because I have all the triangle teams as like my favorites on ESPN.com, the headline I read said like, ESPN names bests of NBA draft, see where Duke players fall. And I'm like, all right, so let me scroll through and look for the Duke player. Because there's no UNC and no NC State and all that kind of stuff. So I'm scrolling, and we get to the shooter section. And I'm like, all right, this is probably where Jared McCain would be if he's going to be anywhere, right? He's maybe the best freshman shooter in the country. Best pull-up shooter went to Cam Spencer of UConn. Best spot-up shooter went to Reed Shepherd of Kentucky, another freshman. Best movement shooter went to Dalton Knecht of Tennessee. And then there were no more shooters, and I kept scrolling and then we got to the last award they gave out, the last best they named, and it was Jared McCain from Duke for best intangibles. This is why people hate Duke. ESPN did not have to shoehorn an award for Jared McCain. If you aren't going to give him credit as a shooter, which is what he does best, if you think somebody else is a better shooter, don't give him the made-up teacher's pet award. Right? Don't give the end-of-the-year banquet for the basketball team and the coach's son gets the coach's award. Don't give him the award that is very obviously, well, we couldn't have Duke get no winners. We wouldn't get any clicks on this article. If you have 3 shooting categories and he can't win any of them, just leave Duke off your list. Because intangibles, oh, how convenient. You're giving him the one that can't be measured. And, oh, by the way, I don't, the little description said everybody speaks glowingly of his work ethic. And did anyone say anything bad about Zach Edey's work ethic or Dalton Knecht's work ethic as he transferred up from a mid-major school to Tennessee and was the best player in the conference right away?
We knew about McCain's work ethic from before the season started from John Shire. He told us.
I would say sure, every year there might be 4 or 5 first-round picks that are coasting on talent. But other than that, everybody's working hard. At least half the first round, hard workers, coaches love them, gym rats, right? The high basketball IQ. Why did you give it to Jared McCain other than, well, he went to Duke and, people speak highly of that program. I think he could have been best spot-up shooter and ended up going to Reed Shepherd. I don't think anyone would have balked if you gave him that. But because you didn't, he doesn't get an award. It feels like you're just forcing it to a Duke player. And that's not exactly what you want people to be feeling when it comes to these types of articles. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for DraftKings Sportsbook. We're this close to crowning an NBA champ. And with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. And DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out as the NBA postseason winds down. As the finals go to Dallas, is it a time for Kyrie Irving to wake up, start scoring more? If it is, you can go into the player props, find it, bet on it. It's that easy. And if you want to keep it even more simple, if you're new to DraftKings or new to sports betting, try betting on something like a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, place your first bet. It's that simple. If you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers, bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD at signup. That's code TIMD, TIMD, with no spaces for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. We're going to take a break. When we come back, football at 4. No news is good news from mandatory minicamps. Unfortunately, we have some news to pass along for the Carolina Panthers. Stick around.
Golf's third major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we cover the U.S. Open from Pinehurst. Find out if Wyndham Clark can go back-to-back or if a new champion emerges. Depend on us for constant leaderboard updates and every big moment through the presentation of the championship trophy. Coverage of the U.S. Open on 99.9 The Fan is teed up by McConnell Golf with 16 top-ranked courses, the best private club value from the mountains to the coast.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Where'd y'all go last week?
Well, we've been watching our budget.
So no going out?
Oh yeah, we're going out, just hitting all the specials. First, we hit the House of Hops. That's Jerome's favorite spot. Big savings on Monday and Wednesdays. Mix and match craft beer and 25% off on to-go growlers. Oh, it's a great place to relax.
The Mix has some good specials and they're across the street.
You have to check out their wine tastings once a month and their live music schedule, plus $5 draft beer on Thursdays. Then Saturday, it's Salt and Lime Brunch, and Monday they have $5 margaritas.
Wait, what about Sharkies?
Oh, sweetie, Sharkies is special all the time.
So you're just going in a circle. House of Hops, Salt and Lime, the Mix, then Sharkies. House of Hops, Salt and Lime, the Mix, then Sharkies. Sounds like a vicious cycle.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a vicious cycle. More like a wonderful cycle.
Yeah, sounds like a cycle I need to be riding.
House of Hops, the Mix, Salt and Lime, and Sharkies. Definitely a cycle you should be riding. Hope to see you soon.
Hank Bauer, Chairman, ABC Commission. And we're here to talk about Talk It Out NC. Now, I know you guys do regular statewide surveys. What have you gathered from the surveys?
Very excited about the decrease in underage drinking. That has opened our eyes. But then also, too, just the fact that we had to go younger. This program, we were starting out in high schools trying to get to that age.
Right.
And then to see the stats that it's actually younger than that. So now we're going to middle schools and elementary schools.
Wow, the website, talkitoutnc.org.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we're at Athens Drive Magnet High School, and we're here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Connor O'Toole.
What does winning this award mean to you?
I think it means a lot. Past 4 years, I've put in a lot of work in athletics and in school. I'm glad to see it's paying off, but also all my friends have helped me along the way to elevate my game.
You're involved in a service organization. What kind of impact does this work have in other aspects of your life?
Yeah, so it's not just about getting those service hours in. For example, for Science National Honor Society, when we're taking those invasive plants out of the lake, that's a lake that we run every day at practice. And it's just good to see the community cleaned up, and it's helping everyone around it as well.
Having Connor on our teams has really just meant a consistent, reliable leader and somebody who kids are drawn to. So you ask him to do something, he'll get it done right the first time. And then other kids will follow his lead, really in anything.
He's always pushing us to be a better person, not just on the track, not just during cross country, but in school and everything.
It's just that family feeling. We're all working together. For friends, we practice together, we train together, so that means we're getting better together. And it's just a great thing to be a part of, having so much support.
Such a hard-working kid, and I love him to death. He motivates me every day and pushes me to my limits.
Congratulations, Connor.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
Attention soccer fans, North Carolina FC invites you to be part of the excitement. Join us in our electrifying games with top-tier players, thrilling goals, and unforgettable moments. Experience the thrill of this beautiful game with North Carolina FC. Get your tickets now, NorthCarolinaFC.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. It's a nice day to get outside. It's nice with partly cloudy skies and comfortable temperatures. We'll have a high of 85 this afternoon, and the humidity stays pretty low. It's partly cloudy on Wednesday as well, just a little bit warmer Wednesday with a high of 87.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 120 points to 38,747.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for Football at 4. And I started today by hoping that this segment could be about no news is good news. The only thing you ever hear out of mandatory minicamps is somebody's not showing up unexcused for contract reasons, or you're hearing some of that around the NFL, or there's an injury. Like, the no news is good news. And at the start of the day, we saw the reports. Everybody is in attendance for the Panthers mandatory minicamp.
Nice. Good step.
No holdouts. None of that. Jadeveon Clowney is back. Caleb Von Chasson is back. Or I guess back is the wrong word. They're both there.
They're just there.
They just showed up. Additions this offseason. It was all good. So I was like, all right, let's start crafting this take around. I have nothing to say, but that's a good thing. And then I heard Xavier Legette not practicing. Still dealing with that tightness in the hamstring. For more, let's hear from Dave Canales, the head coach, on Xavier Legette's hamstring.
No, not really. It's just any hamstring. So, again, we're looking at the time really getting shorter and shorter to when we go to camp. So we just really can't afford to say, well, it's good enough. I think if we're playing a game this week, he's practicing and we're getting ready to go. But right now, this is not the time to test that, So I think being cautious on that side, looking towards training camp is the right thing to do.
I agree. Okay, first of all, if there's tightness, if there's something there, if there's any reason for concern, of course you'd be foolish to risk your first-round pick on July 11th. But it does make me nervous for whenever he does ramp it back up, right? If he's good enough that if you were playing a game, he'd be playing, it seems like there should be all right, we're going to practice you, but let's keep it light, right? Don't dig as hard as you possibly can. Let's get you through some of these drills. I'm starting to become a little nervous. Xavier Legette is a hamstring guy.
I'm sure he probably did some work off the fields with training staff and all that kind of stuff.
I did see him.
Easy for me to say, but I'm sure he did a lot of that stuff.
Yep.
I'm sure he did a lot of that stuff beforehand or even after practice, and still got his conditioning work in. But here's the thing: you're out there on the field. You ever tell someone, "Hey, go light speed"? Now they try and ramp it up a little bit more than they're probably being told to do so, and that's when things can really get bad.
I saw him walking in with Jonathan Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonathan Brooks, their second-round pick that they traded back and then traded back up to go get, first running back off the board, and Xavier Legette were walking in. And it just kind of was a harrowing sight. It was one of those things that, like, if you told me about it, I don't know if it would hit me. But watching your first-round pick and your second-round pick, two offensive playmakers on a team that desperately needs an offensive injection of electricity at the first mandatory minicamp, the first mandatory, in a lot of ways, the first practice, and the two guys that were supposed to be bringing the electricity to the offense, these new additions, were walking in kind of after everybody else not going to practice. It was like a really we're already here moment. You guys were drafted like 2 seconds ago, and I know they drafted Jonathan Brooks with knowledge that the ACL had happened later in last season, so he wasn't going to be ready. And I know in July 11th you shouldn't be risking someone with any kind of tightness in their hamstring, and I know. But then, what did I say?
July
11th. It's June 11th is what I meant. Even July 11th, you shouldn't be risking it, but I meant June 11th. But then you see it, and you're like, I don't like that, right? Because guess what? The offense that they ran in the first day of mandatory minicamps had Adam Thielen as one of the top 2 wide receivers, right? It had Jonathan Mingo in 3 wides. It had Chuba Hubbard as the number 1 running back. Like it wasn't supposed to be this way again, right?
Things are starting to look a little familiar.
It's like wait, and it's day 1. It's day 1.
Wait a second.
Maybe if by like week 12 you're like, gosh, we got to go back to leaning on Mingo. But day 1 of mandatory minicamps, already we have the 2 shiniest, newest pieces that, by the way, you traded up to get Xavier Legette, and even though you moved back, you traded up to get Jonathan Brooks. These were guys you just had to have. You couldn't wait, and they're not there. And I understand the logic. Before we put this on YouTube, and by the way, follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe, like, comment. Before all the comments are like, relax, it's smart. I logically get it. I know it is not July 11th. It is June 11th. And you can't win games in June. And you want to have them ready for training camp, and you can't afford a setback. But just go look at the video on social media and tell me part of you doesn't go, eee, that stinks. So maybe this is just me venting. Maybe this is just me venting, like when your boss yells at you and you're driving home and you call a friend and you're just like, hey, I earned it. I deserve the screaming, but I'm just gonna yell it out real quick. I'm gonna call him some names, and I'm gonna hang up, and I'm gonna feel better. Thank you for being my venting board. So thank you to everybody out there for being my venting board. I don't want a 3 wide receiver set that has Jonathan Mingo and Adam Thielen in it. I want Deontay Johnson, I want Xavier Legette, and then maybe Adam Thielen. I don't want a 3rd down where Jonathan Brooks isn't the running back in there because he's not healthy. Right, then you got to go back to the Miles Sanders of it all because Chuba Hubbard's not a pass-catching back. We've been there.
By the way, a couple other things on the injury front for the Carolina Panthers. Miles Sanders is not practicing. He's dealing with a heel injury that somebody's dealing with in the OTAs.
Didn't even know that.
So, yeah, he's been dealing with a heel injury. And then also DJ Johnson, their 3rd-round pick from last year, edge rusher, was carted off the field, apparent knee injury, which is not a good sign.
Because that's a position they have a lot of depth at.
Of course.
DJ Wanham still working his way back from quad surgery.
Yep.
Jadeveon Clowney just got on campus. DJ Johnson probably had more opportunity in OTAs and would have had more opportunity in minicamp to make up for a fairly setbacking rookie year. But now it appears as if he's – by the way, I saw that is it a calf injury? And he's shut down for the rest of mandatory minicamp, but they're optimistic for training camp. Is what I saw. I believe David Newton, ESPN, on that scoop.
By the way, as well as apparently happened during a special teams drill.
Okay, and by the way, he should be on special teams.
Yeah.
Now for some optimism. I have not heard this clip yet, but it's from Dave Canales, and it's titled How He Felt About Today's Practice, and I just know this is going to boost our spirits. Here's the happiest coach in the world, Dave Canales, on how he felt about today's mandatory minicamp practice.
It was a great day today. Just a lot of great energy. Really good to have the full team out there, see the guys working, and then just finished off, moved the ball a little bit, so we were able to kind of get some of the different areas of the field, middle of the field, some third down stuff, some red zone. So really just trying to test the guys on all the things we've been covering for the spring, this kind of being their final exams, if you will. But I loved the finish. It was high-spirited. Guys were talking to each other, and it was good to just be able to do that. And, I was having some flashbacks going against Ajero over there. And I'm just amazed, just some of the calls and the presence of mind he has in situations, some of the stuff that went out there. So loved it. It was a great day.
Man, I know it was turf, but the grass smelled great, and the birds were chirping, and it was a fantastic practice.
I feel great about playing football right now.
Yeah, you do, Dave Canales. I'm going to keep these clips of him talking about football for just when I'm having a sad day. Oh, you're a little blue? Here's Dave Canales talking about how excited he is for practice. I know many of you want Bryce Young updates, so we'll let Dave Canales update you on it. Here is Dave Canales on how Bryce looked this offseason.
I would say just the comfort and familiarity with our terms, with the plays. Today was by far his best day just operating the offense. The execution of the plays, defense makes plays too. But as far as like the getting out of the huddle, getting to the line of scrimmage, moving the shifts and motions, using the cadence, figuring problems out with the protections, this was a fantastic day for Bryce in understanding what we're trying to get done.
There you go. Update on Bryce Young. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are going to take a break, but first, Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. You can use that to pay off all of your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value, it's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money out for that home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
We make some of the biggest stories in sports get Copter Drop. We play Copper Drop coming up next, and Storm Tracker for more Canes rumors. Stick around.
99.9 The Fan and Arise Urology Clinic present Men's Health Month. Smoking causes cancer, heart disease, a greater risk of stroke, and increased risk of erectile dysfunction. Start your winning streak now and commit to quit. You'll fix your organs, get your looks back, and end the smoker's cough. The long-term benefits lower the chance of death and decrease your danger to your body for your future. Men's Health Month is powered by Arise. Call Arise Urology Clinic for Men at 919-964-3750 or visit CoreWaveTherapy.com.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I ordered the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Hey, you love what you love. So save on your faves like a sausage McMuffin with egg or bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles for just $2.50.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities. Just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling. Better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Houston, permission to detach boosters.
Negative, Commander. You're off course for the moon. Sensors show something massive on board. Did you bring additional items?
Only the new loaded scratch-offs.
Those are loaded with $50, $100, $500, and $2,000 prizes. You're on a trajectory towards Mars.
Nice. First person on Mars. Take that, billionaires.
New loaded scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Massive amounts of prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.8 to 4.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Do you have a wedding anniversary coming up? Let Bailey's Fine Jewelry make your gift giving easy. Make this a year to remember with something sentimental and sparkly. Or consider upgrading your original engagement ring to celebrate how much your love has grown. Make this anniversary one to remember with a Bailey box. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Family owned and operated since 1948. Shop local in Raleigh, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Visit in-store or at baileybox.com to learn more.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's here. The Chatley Boat and Marine Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats for 6 days only, June 10th through the 15th. Boats as low as $300 a month. Rebates up to $8,000 plus special financing. Large inventory ready for immediate delivery. All boats are water tested before delivery on the Chatley on-site test lake. The Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats, June 10th through the 15th. Open nightly until 6:30, Saturday until 3. Only at Chatley Boat and Marine in Sanford.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Attention talcum powder users. Have you had ovarian or gynecological cancer? A proposed $8 billion plan will pay those who believe they got sick from using talc products like Johnson's Baby Powder and Shower to Shower. Johnson & Johnson maintains its products are safe. You have until July 26, 2024 to vote to accept or reject the plan. For more information, visit officialtalcclaims.com or call 888-431-4056. Paid for by LLT Management, LLC.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we start playing Cop or Drop, you have a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Pete Davidson, comedian. Text keyword Pete, P-E-T-E, to 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Text keyword Pete for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Pete Davidson at the Martin Marietta Center for the Performing Arts on June 30th. That's keyword Pete, P-E-T-E, to 919-860-5326. Now let's play Cop or Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
This is a part of the show. We do it once a week where Dennis throws everything he can at me. Takes, opinions, guesses, predictions, and I tell you whether I am copping or dropping. Dennis, take it away.
All right, since we just had a conversation about Xavier Legette, wide receiver of the Carolina Panthers, cop or drop? Xavier Legette will miss more than 2 games this season. Cop or drop?
Interesting. I hate predicting injuries. My gut is saying over, but my heart is saying under. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna say drop. I think he plays in all 17.
All 17.
He is a young, physically fit individual. Does not have a lot of tread on the tires or a lot of wear and tear on the tires from college. He didn't really have massive production until his final year. I think he stays healthy. I think he finds a way. They're being cautious with him now, so they don't have to be cautious with him later.
Okay.
That's also partially like wishful thinking. If he's already dealing with hamstring injuries, you know how I feel about hamstring injuries. They pop up at the least opportune moment.
Speaking of injuries, we know Jonathan Brooks. Talked about him a moment ago as well, about him recovering from his ACL injury that he had at Texas at the end of last season. Cop or drop, Jonathan Brooks will be ready to go week 1.
What's ready to go?
He'll be active and playing.
I think he'll be active for week 1, so copping. I think it'll be on a big carries and snap count limit. Probably because see the other option is maybe put him on PUP list, physical unable to perform, and then he's out the first 4 or 6 weeks.
Like up to 6,
which is not ideal. I think he's active but on a severe snap limit. And then by maybe the middle of the season is where you finally start to see them kind of trust him and let him be in there for full drives or for big chunks of the game. So I do think it's no-go.
All right, next one here, cop or drop. Both NC State and UNC both make it to the College World Series.
Mm-hmm.
They're all both in Omaha. Cop or drop, one or both make it to the actual College World Series finals.
Well, finally, I probably would have made myself say cop to even both making it, but because I'm local, let's go triangle. Gosh, how electric would that be?
That'd be awesome.
We'd have to find a way to get to Omaha.
Airplane?
Walk? I don't know. We'd find a way. Bicycle, an e-bike, Lime scooter. We'd find a way.
I'll take my motorcycle for a ride.
There we go.
Let's go.
We could get the Dumb and Dumber moped.
Yeah, right.
We'll find a way to get on out there to Omaha. But for one of them, yeah, it's we actually talked about this off air. A fourth of the teams in Omaha are from the Triangle. 1 out of every 4 teams there. So one getting there. And by the way, UNC is one of the top ranked teams to make it to Omaha. So, and they both were hosted regionals. Like these are 2 of the better teams in the country. So yes, I'm taking at least one for sure to make it all the way to the final.
All right, and a little news here that kind of broke earlier this afternoon, kind of right before we went on the show. Joey Chestnut, the hot dog eating champion of the world.
8-time defending Nathan's hot dog eating champion.
Better part of a decade. Banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. And here's the reason why. Joey Chestnut signed a 4-year, $1.2 million deal with Impossible Foods, which makes vegan hot dogs and other vegan products. So kind of a competing brand against Nathan's. So therefore, Joey Chestnut banned from competing in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Cop or drop, we're putting asterisks on every single champion from here on out in the hot dog eating contest.
Can't do it. No asterisk.
No asterisks?
He knew what he was doing. This is like a golfer signing up for LIV. You know what you're giving up. If you go to LIV, I'm not looking at other tournaments. I'm not looking at the Memorial last week for Scotty Scheffler and saying, oh, there's an asterisk because these guys chose to leave. They chose to leave.
He didn't choose to leave.
Oh,
it's an endorsement deal.
You know you can't go to the Nathan's hot dog eating contest when you're out there slanging fake hot dogs. Impossible, what is it called?
Impossible Foods.
Impossible Foods. You can't. You know what you're signing up for when you sign up for. What is an impossible hot dog made out of? What is it? What is a
different process like vegetables?
Vegetable hot dog. You thought you were going to be welcome back at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest when you're out there hawking vegetable hot dogs? It's not going to be. And you knew it. Just like all these guys. Oh, I thought I'd be able to play and live and then also come back to the PGA Tour whenever I want
different.
to. No, it's not.
He didn't sign with the competing tour. It's just an endorsement deal.
It's the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Well, they sponsor the hot dog eating contest, but
they put on the hot dog
competing in another
hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
It's Coney Island Nathan's Hot Dogs. You knew what you were doing, Joey Chestnut. You made your bed. Now you must lie down in it. And then probably slather some ketchup and dunk it in water.
Yeah, the whole dunking in the water thing.
But you know what it actually does? Who's going to win this year's Nathan Hot Dogs eating contest? For the first time in like a decade, we don't know the answer to that question.
Doors open.
But now the two biggest, because Kobayashi was the guy that put the hot dog eating contest on the map.
He was the guy.
And then he was banned. I forget why. But he
Was
tried to break in. Do you remember that year he tried to like show up and storm the stage?
No.
And then Joey Chestnut dominated for a while. Now he's banned. Pretty soon they're not gonna have a tour. Everybody's gonna be banned.
Yeah, in 2012, Kobayashi was barred from the
maybe
due to the contract dispute.
Maybe this is the year Eater X finally gets involved. The guy that always face paints himself and then loses. Maybe he or there's the Black Widow, right? The women's champ. Maybe she gets involved in the overall. Trying to think of who else. There's another big guy that always chugs the lemonade right beforehand. That guy gets after it.
That just sounds terrible.
Yeah, a lot of sugar.
That sounds
a lot of sugar.
That sounds like a bad time. All right, next one up here, cop or drop. That really does sound like a bad time. All right, next one up here, cop or drop. The Carolina Hurricanes will announce Eric Tulsky as their general manager by tomorrow. By this time tomorrow, 24 hours from now, Eric Tulsky will be officially named the general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'll cop it.
Okay.
It seems like they're going in that direction. The longer they don't have a GM, the longer I think they will just promote Eric Tulsky. So tomorrow, the next day, time is a flat circle. Because he's already operating as the interim GM. So if you're going to make him the GM, he's already doing that. The thing that it would do is kind of give the outside world a view that, things aren't temporary and give some stability. But I don't know if there's a tremendous rush on that. If it's Eric Tulsky, I think there would be a bigger rush if you were bringing in somebody from the outside because they wouldn't already be operating in that space. So what'd you say, tomorrow at this time?
Yeah, so 24 hours from now. 4:25 Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll cop it. I think it'll probably be like a 9 o'clock press release. 9 a.m. press release. I don't know why, but that's what I'm thinking. And if someone out there from the Canes is listening, do it at 9 just to make me feel like I'm a savant. Make me feel like I'm a prophet of some kind.
Yeah, just to make us feel
so we
good.
can replay this clip, and I'll go, ha-ha, I knew.
Told you.
We'll do it from, by the way, tomorrow we will be at the Pinehurst for the U.S. Open practice rounds. So that would just give us a whole mess of stuff to talk about.
Speaking of Pinehurst and the U.S. Open, cop or drop, Tiger makes the cut.
Copping.
Okay.
Here's why. And we'll talk about the U.S. Open periodically throughout the show today. The course is going to be brutal. It is going to be a test of your mentals as much as it is a test of your physicals. There's going to be 5 putts. There's going to be chipping it over the green, chipping it back over the green, chipping it back over the green.
Wait, hold on. Pros are playing this, right? Not you and I.
Oh, if it was you and I, 14 putts.
Yeah.
We'd be putting it into bunkers. It would be a complete mess. I saw a side-by-side because obviously in 1999, Payne Stewart wins the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. It's one of the more iconic moments in golf. There's the statue. And they showed the 18th hole, the closing hole in 1999 on number 2, the course that's the championship level. And then this year, when I tell you it is so much more difficult, the fairway is like as wide as this studio I'm in. On either side, there's these wastelands that are just absolutely brutal. It's going to be extremely penal if you miss. And when it comes to Tiger Woods, yes, at one point in time, he was the most gifted physical golfer on the planet, maybe that we've ever seen. Ball striking, creativity out of trouble, all that. But the part that most people agree on is he was the most mentally tough golfer we've ever seen, or is the most mentally tough golfer we've ever seen. The last time he won the U.S. Open, you know what happened? His knee was shredded to bits, and his caddy, Stevie, looked at him and said, "Tiger, with this knee, You could be jeopardizing the rest of your career. I just heard a crunch out of your knee.
Yeah.
I think you should probably stop. And you know what Tiger said to him? Bleep you, Stevie, I'm winning this tournament. And guess what he did?
Won the thing.
He went out and won the tournament. So if everyone else is having their mentals test, we know that Tiger's going to pass that. The physicals might hold him back a little bit, but not enough to miss the cut. I think Tiger plays the weekend.
Okay, so he makes the cut. Copper drop. Tiger Woods finishes in the top 30.
I'm dropping.
Okay.
I don't think he has I don't think he plays enough 4 consecutive days of tournament golf to have the physical stamina to do that. I think with where he is physically, I think, and I hate to say this because I'm as big of a Tiger Woods fan as there is, and I challenge anyone to one-up me on that. I think we're to the point where we celebrate made cuts. And if he has a top 30, we plan a parade. Not to say it's not possible. I will not bet against him winning a tournament. I think he can still have that magical Jack Nicklaus in 86 moment. But the other thing you might need to recognize is that Jack Nicklaus in 86 might have been Tiger Woods in the 2019 Masters. And now we're to the post that part of his career. So I'm not going to pick him to go top 30, but I will pick him to make the cut. Dropping.
All right, next one here. Christian McCaffrey, former Carolina Panther running back, now with the San Francisco 49ers, named the cover athlete for Madden NFL 25. Copper drop, Madden curse hits Christian McCaffrey.
I'm not a superstitious person.
Yeah.
I think that is unfair to the players. So I'm going to drop this. Christian McCaffrey, I don't know if you've heard, he's opened up a little bit about his childhood. His dad is Ed McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Ed McCaffrey, longtime NFL wide receiver. You probably remember him from the Broncos offenses he was on with John Elway, Rod Smith, Terrell Davis, that whole Shannon Sharp, that whole crew.
Won a couple Super Bowls in the late 90s.
Yep. His dad had him on, had all of the sons. There's Luke McCaffrey, who was just drafted. There's at least one other McCaffrey, and Christian McCaffrey, who, like, they were getting IVs before working out, like, middle school. They were doing hamstring stretches and all of the like, he was advanced in that even as a professional, and he had his, youth sons doing it. So and Christian McCaffrey has kept up on that, right? Everyone always talks about LeBron spends $1.75 million on his body every year. I don't know how much Christian McCaffrey spends, but it's a lot. He's up on all of that. So I'm not going to the Madden curse is going to get him hurt. It's like, you know what? I think that's disrespectful to all the work he puts into trying not to get hurt. So I'm not going to say he gets caught up in the curse. I'm not going to say he's going to have as good a year as last year when he was the Offensive Player of the Year. But I do think he's pretty good, and at 28 years old, a little old for a running back, but not by Ed McCaffrey standards. Back then, running backs played much longer.
He's a unicorn. It's Christian McCaffrey.
You want to nerd? You kind of nerd real quick?
Sure.
So I play Dynasty Fantasy Football.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Which is you draft players and you don't redraft every year. You own you like the players are on your roster until you trade them or cut them. It's more like real football. Christian McCaffrey right now in Dynasty leagues for startup drafts, which is like when you're starting a new league, you draft everybody one time. He is the only running back in I want to say the last 10 years who's 28 or older and going in the first round of startups. Because normally the cutoff is 27. Once a running back gets above 27 in Dynasty, their value plummets. Nobody wants them. At 28, Christian McCaffrey is still a first-round pick because people think he's going to age that well. So I'm not going to be the one to jinx that.
All right, that's all I have.
You know what time that is then.
Well, we have a minute till the Storm Tracker.
So in that case, golf's third major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week as we bring you the U.S. Open from Pinehurst. Our coverage is teed up by McConnell Golf, owner and operator of 16 private golf clubs, where members enjoy playing privileges at top-ranked courses. McConnell Golf, the best private club value from the mountains to the coast. And yes, we will be at Pinehurst tomorrow. We will bring you sights and sounds from the driving range where golfers will be making their final preparations for the Thursday start to the tournament. Should be a very exciting show for us, and we will, pass along any Tiger sightings that we have. We'll be on Tiger Watch, but also Rory Watch and Spieth Watch and Schauffele Watch and Brooks Watch and everything else, because when it comes to majors, the best of the best get together. Now, let's hit a little Storm Tracker. Storm Tracker every day, 4:33. The latest rumors, rumblings amongst the Canes offseason. It is the offseason of change for the Canes after essentially running it back last year and once again falling short of their cup aspirations. This year seems like there's going to be a lot more shaking up happening. Dennis, what's the latest you've heard from what some of those changes might be?
Okay, well, two big names floating around out there involving the Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, forward Jake Guentzel, as well as Martin Necas. The two big names floating around.
This involves both.
Involves both. Now, the question is, Martin Necas was part of a potential trade that the Carolina Hurricanes were looking to make with Vancouver this past season at the trade deadline to bring in Elias Pettersson.
Mm-hmm.
There's conversations about, hey, you know what? We can still make that move, but also, can we also sign Jake Guentzel too? Apparently, Vancouver all in on all the Carolina Hurricanes guys.
So
They're
you're
in on signing Jake Guentzel and potentially trading for Martin Necas.
Just because of the way you worded that, you're not implying, because I don't think he has a no trade clause. You're not implying that the Martin Necas for Elias Pettersson would still be on.
I don't think that's still in play.
Okay,
but Vancouver's still interested.
They're just still interested in Martin Necas.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, whoa, wait a second here.
So that apparently is still out there, and also Vancouver. Hey, maybe we can also sign Jake Guentzel too, and maybe Elias Lindholm, and then get Martin Necas. Apparently, if you've played for the Carolina Hurricanes in the past, Vancouver wants you.
Few things. One, why not send Necas and the rights for Jake Guentzel to Vancouver and make it some kind of, that could be the sweetener, right? Like, let's set up this Martin Necas deal and then go, oh, and by the way, we also want blah, blah, blah. And to sweeten the pot, we'll throw you the rights to Jake Guentzel. I always like, anytime I'm in some kind of negotiation, I always like to have like the but wait, here you go to get the deal done. We owned a house in a previous market I worked in upstate New York, and we had a big yard and we had the riding mower, right? And I knew the house we were moving to, I wasn't going to need the riding mower. And we had already bought it, been paid for, all that kind of stuff. So I kept that in my back pocket. So when we got to the last negotiation for the price of the house, where they're going like, could you come down another $5,000? I was like, no, we're not coming down another $5,000, but I'll throw in the riding mower. And that was like the last little boom, got the deal done, got the price for, that last little couple thousand that we wanted it to be. Could Jake Guentzel be that in that deal where it's like, hey, we really don't want to give up that much for Martin Necas, and that's where you reach out and go, boom, riding mower, the rights to Jake Guentzel. And then Vancouver would say, we can't pay all of them. What were we thinking? And we'd go, we knew that from the beginning, Vancouver.
Well, Elliot Friedman of Sportsnet earlier today kind of gave the latest of Martin Necas. Now there's some teams that are interested that might not have the capital in order to trade for Martin Necas.
Oh, they don't have capital to trade for. I thought you were saying cap space. Okay.
But what if a third team gets involved? Here's Elliot Friedman.
Carolina has either indicated to teams you have what we want, or you don't have what we want. And what some teams told me is that they're wondering if there's going to be some of those teams that were initially told by Carolina, you don't have what we want. Can they do a three-way deal?
Now let's get creative.
Yes.
Now let's get creative. There's that opens up so much, right? When you have teams that maybe are willing to take on cap, or when you have teams that are willing to be a facilitator for something like this in order just to get a sweetener in their direction, then that opens up more and more options. And then I've been emphasizing this from the beginning. In a Martin Necas trade, the most important thing for the Carolina Hurricanes is keeping as many suitors in the conversation, right? So if you find a team that's willing to help facilitate and you can use that to get more suitors in the mix, that's simply good for the price of Martin Necas, right? That's simply good for boosting that price and getting you the most return for a player who obviously the league thinks is pretty good. right? There are a lot of teams out there that want him, and if you can eliminate obstacles to them getting in the bidding war, that's simply good for the Carolina Hurricanes. You want the most people possible in the mix, right? Have you ever been to like a live auction where the people are, and do I 400, do I 400, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half. There used to do a ton of them when I lived out in Nebraska, and you just knew when there was like 6 paddles going up, you're like, oh, this one's going to be big. Like this is going to go on for a while. When there was like 2 and you had the one reluctant, I don't know, maybe you're like, all right, this is going to end anytime soon. The Canes want to keep as many paddles in the mix as possible in this auction for Martin Necas. So, yeah, if you can eliminate some obstacles, some hurdles by bringing in a third team, do it. Do it as much as you can. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. I know a lot of people out there, maybe you're obviously riding your motorcycle, maybe when days are nice or just something you can do on the weekends. Maybe you're looking to do some trips in the fall. But have you thought about maybe at some point, okay, what if I do get in an accident? What do I do? Who do I contact? Is it my insurance company? Is it an attorney? Who do I contact in that situation? Maybe thought about taking a look again at your insurance policy. Are you underinsured? Maybe you're uninsured. Here's the thing. Go to lawtigers.com. They have a free rider benefit kit that you can register to sign up for with a bunch of information that they can send your way in order to make sure that you are properly insured, know who to contact if you are involved in an accident, and everything that you need to do as a rider. But here's the thing. If you're involved in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Because, again, you're injured in a motorcycle accident, you got to call the people that are going to back you up. And, again, that's where Law Tigers come in. The insurance companies, they just want to pay you the least amount possible. Whereas Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your gear and your bike are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they don't get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, a feedback frenzy. Your best comments from the internet about things we've talked about and our responses coming up.
It's back.
Words you never want to hear when it comes to plumbing. Better call NCK's Plumbing and Backflow. We're Wake County's first choice for plumbing services. We can save the day all kinds of ways. We offer water heaters, drain cleaning, backflow testing, and more. And use state-of-the-art technology to diagnose and repair existing problems. You'll want us back because we recommend the most cost-effective and energy-efficient solutions. CKSPlumbing.com. Wake County's first choice for residential and commercial plumbing services.
Where'd y'all go last week?
Well, we've been watching our budget.
So no going out?
Oh yeah, we're going out, just hitting all the specials. First, we hit the House of Hops. That's Jerome's favorite spot. Big savings on Monday and Wednesdays. Mix and match craft beer and 25% off on to-go growlers. Oh, it's a great place to relax.
You know, the Mix has some good specials and they're across the street.
You have to check out their wine tastings once a month and their live music schedule, plus $5 draft beer on Thursdays. Then Saturday, it's Salt and Lime Brunch, and Monday they have $5 margaritas.
Wait, what about Sharkies?
Oh, sweetie, you know Sharkies is special all the time.
So you're just going in a circle. House of Hops, Salt and Lime, the Mix, then Sharkies. House of Hops, Salt and Lime, the Mix, then Sharkies. Sounds like a vicious cycle.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a vicious cycle. More like a wonderful cycle.
Yeah, sounds like a cycle I need to be riding.
House of Hops, the Mix, Salt and Lime, and Sharkies. Definitely a cycle you should be riding. Hope to see you soon.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings. We are this close to crowning an NBA champ, and with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. It's super easy to get started with DraftKings if you're a first-timer. Try betting on something like a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that simple. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
This Father's Day, give Dad the gift that keeps on giving with the Butcher's Market Steak of the Month Club. Dad will enjoy a fresh, hand-cut steak every month for 6 months, like a prime New York strip steak, a Brazilian picanha, a petite sirloin roast, and a thick-cut T-bone steak, just to name a few. Plus great bonus items like burgundy wine marinated mushrooms and so much more. The Steak of the Month Club is exciting, easy, and just perfect for Dad. Sign up today at any of the Butcher's Market's 6 Triangle locations or at thebutchersmarkets.com. Now open at Lake Boone Trail.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Dallas Rhule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You guys do so many things: windows, doors, siding, gutters, awnings, roofing.
Roofing is the most important part of your home. You want to make sure you keep the water out. Our roofing products made by Certainty, the shingle roofing, it comes in a lot of different colors, a lot of different styles, but it has a 50-year, 5-star warranty on all material and labor, backed by the manufacturer. It's non-prorated.
I've never heard of a 50-year warranty. I always hear like 20 or 30.
Unless a tree hits the house or you have some storm damage, it'll be the last roof you ever put on your home.
I like that. What about metal roofing?
We do a lot of metal roofing. We got the standing seam, comes in a lot of different colors, and it'll last forever, but it doesn't have the 50-year warranty like the shingled roofing does.
Sounds like you're pushing shingle roofing, which you should, probably.
It's affordable, and again, it's hard to beat because it's really the last roof you'll have to pay to put on your home.
Dallas Rhule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get into a feedback frenzy, it's time for Father's Day. We want to help you, in time for Father's Day, I should say. We want to help you recognize Dear Old Dad. Text DAD, D-A-D, to 919-860-5326. Click the link and nominate a deserving father figure in your life to win a grilling prize pack. Dear Old Dad is served up by Carolina Ale House, where all dads get a free varsity burger this Father's Day. Now let's get into the feedback frenzy. Let's do it. Let's frenzy.
Oh, we're frenzying right now?
Let's frenzy.
Okay, all right.
There we go. Frenzy is where Dennis goes to the internet. It's a dangerous place in there. You can get lost. And finds all the best feedback to our segments over the past week or so. And he brings some of those comments for us to respond to. Dennis, what do you have?
All right, so yesterday you did your top 10 or 10 returning Carolina Panthers that need to step up this upcoming season. And according to David, wonders why Jonathan Mingo was not in your top 10 of guys that need to step up for returning players.
Because I hope he is not on the field.
Really?
Well, think about it. Deontay Johnson's your number 1.
Yeah.
Xavier Legette's your number 2.
Not yet.
Adam Thielen's your number 2.
Yeah.
Xavier Legette's your number 3.
If he's not hurt.
Which we're taking the coaching staff for what they're saying, which is it's all just for caution. If they had a game this week, he'd be practicing. And with everything we've heard about, they're going to run the ball, they're going to run the ball, they're going to run the ball. I'm going to expect most plays to have at least one tight end, maybe 2. At least one running back, maybe 2. I don't think they're going to be out there 4 or 5 wide, slinging it around like they're Mike Leach era run and shoot teams. So Jonathan Mingo, unless he proves something else, I don't see him being a heavily dependent upon player. Not to say he won't ever be out there, but he's got to step up just to be a player that I think I need to step up. He's got to step up just to get to the level where I want him to step up from. Does that make sense?
Okay.
He's got to step up to get in the rotation. I'm looking at guys in the rotation that need to play exceptional.
So remember you mentioned Ihmir Smith-Marsette, which Mingo's ahead of in the depth chart.
But part of that was because of the new kick return rules.
Okay.
Because I do think there's going to be more opportunities. You're even hearing kickers. Justin Tucker said he's hitting the gym because he's like, I might be making tackles.
He's put on like 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah, so watch the heck out. You heard the Chiefs are talking about maybe having Reed, their safety, kick off.
Yeah.
Because then they have a legit another tackler on the field for kickoff. So if Ihmir Smith-Marsette is the main kickoff guy, main punt returner, I think that's where he could step up and really help the offense with the field position battle. And then anything you get from the wide receiver portion of him as a deep threat is kind of gravy.
All right. Also, we had a conversation, I believe it was last week, about Bryce Young's leadership and some stuff that he's done this offseason and how his teammates are reacting to him. This one comes from John. I think on paper this is a way better roster than last year. Bryce has a chance to show if he is worth that first overall pick. Hopefully, it will translate to at least 7 or 8 wins this season. That will be a successful season and can continue to build and get better.
We've been talking about doing this. Maybe we'll do it sooner than we planned. We've talked about like what legitimate are the expectations for the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
What is success for the Panthers this year? To hear somebody, and this is no disrespect to the commenter, but to hear somebody say 7 or 8 is kind of like the floor. Like, hopefully this is what it translates to. They won, 2 games last year?
It was 2.
And they didn't lead in the fourth quarter for any of them, both being game-winning kicks that came at the last possible second. If you win 5 or 6 games, like, you have to be happy with that. You'll still be drafting near the top of the draft. You'll still be one of the worst teams in the league, but you'll have greatly improved. I'm considering this year almost Bryce's rookie year. Last year, the situation he was put in, very, very difficult to improve. We're going to have that conversation at some point, probably closer to preseason, but just know I don't think 7 or 8 is the floor by any means.
I mean, if they win 7 or 8 this season,
we'll hang
props.
a banner.
I mean, unless the reason why they won 7 or 8 is because they blew like leads in 4 of them. Like, wait, they could have had an 11-win season.
But then you get to like everybody after a golf round where they're like, I shot 89, but I tripled 9, I 4-putted on 10. It easily could have been a 79, and it's like, well, yeah, but it was an 89.
Yeah, it was still an 89.
I get it, but it's I was OB twice, and it's like, well, yeah, you were OB twice. It's like, oh, well, we could have won in week 3. We could have won in week 4. Remember that pick 6? If you take away the pick 6, we win in week 12. It really was a 9-win season. I'm like, no, it wasn't. You can't just take away the pick 6 in week 12.
It's what could have been. All right, so we also talked last week about the possibility that the Carolina Hurricanes, if they cannot reach an agreement with Jake Guentzel, pending free agent, that they could trade his rights, his negotiating rights, to another team before July 1st. That way, that team can have basically jumped to the front of the line and give him potentially an 8-year contract. This one comes from Brian. Sorry, I don't care how good Guentzel is. I don't want to be tied to him for $9+ million for 8 years. He's already 30. Halfway through that contract, most fans will be wishing it wasn't on our books.
Yeah, it's how most of those contracts are. You're going to hope that the cap's going to keep going up. And you have a window. You're in it, right? Aho, Svetch, Jarvis, Slavin, who, by the way, is around the same age as Guentzel. You have a window for the next, 4 or 5 years. Anything beyond that is not guaranteed. And if you told me you were like, all right, move on from Guentzel because I don't want it to be tied to him for the next 8 years. All right, do you have somebody that can fill that role that's 24? Because I'd rather sign them too. Like, if you have somebody that can be a legitimate postseason goal-scoring massive threat to play alongside Aho in the first line, that's also happens to be 22, other than Jarvis.
That has cup success.
Yeah, that has a cup and can do what Guentzel. I'd much rather sign them. I agree. Those don't, like, everyone's going to have their pros and cons. His con is he's 30 years old. For the next 4 or 5 years, he's under 35. I'm fine. Like, win a cup. Like, this is where I feel crazy. Win a cup before you start worrying about, like, well, actually, the longevity of it. If you don't get one, you're just a solid team for 15 years. What do you get for that? There's no banners for, like, hey, we were pretty good for 17 consecutive years. It's like, at a certain point, you got to go all in and win one. Hey, we never really took a shot, but we were well above average for 18 straight seasons.
And that's more than what a lot of franchises can say. Let's be real.
But you have the same amount of cups as those ones that you're making fun of right now.
That's true. All right, final one here on Feedback Frenzy. This actually comes from our YouTube live stream back earlier when we were talking about NC State, and you brought up the idea of, is this the best NC State athletic season or athletic year that we've that NC State has ever had, with both men's and women's basketball making it to the Final Four, as well as baseball making it to the College World Series? Nathan says, definitely the best year in my lifetime, and I'm enjoying every minute of this ride.
Is it uncouth to ask how old are you?
I mean,
because there's are you 8?
I mean, but he could also be like 40.
True. Actually, yeah. Well, I'm just saying
He could be 50.
It's less impressive if a 6-year-old is writing that.
Well, yeah.
If a 50-year-old is writing that, it's like, all right, you're in agreement with us that there is something historic happening this season.
If a 6-year-old wrote that, their grammar is on point. Just saying.
Well played. It's like, do you remember that there was that kid that was at all the New England parades?
Mm-hmm.
And he's, I'm 13 and I've been to parades for, and he had Bruins and Celtics and Red Sox and Patriots and Patriots and Patriots and Red Sox and Patriots. And it's like, all right, kid, we get it.
Yeah, cool.
You don't get to talk anymore. Like, there is a certain amount of gravitas that comes with being a fan for a long time. When the good finally happens, you appreciate it a bit more. For example, as a Mets fan, in the year 2059, when they finally have a World Series, I'm going to enjoy that one more because I suffered through the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s, the 2030s, the 2040s, and most of the 2050s. Please bookmark this so when it actually happens in 2059, I can replay it and go, ha-ha, I told you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for Miller Lending. If you ever talk with anyone who's even tangentially aware, even indirectly aware of the mortgage lending business, they all have an idea for when rates are going to fall, right? I'm thinking about buying a house. Oh, don't do it now. Wait for Christmas time. Rates are going to fall in Christmas time. Oh, don't do it now. 2025, rates are going to fall. Don't do it now. Rates always fall on Groundhog's Day. And it's like, all right, I could keep waiting and let the unknown be the unknown and dictate everything. Or I can call up Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. I can get a no closing cost loan right now, take no costs, no fees, no third-party fees out of my pocket, lock in the rates as they are now, and if rates fall in Christmas time, if rates come down in 2025, if rates fall in an election year, if rates come down every Groundhog Day, simply refinance at that time and once again use Gordon Miller and Miller Lending with a no closing cost loan, no money out of your pocket. You don't have to save up the cash to refinance over and over and over as rates drop. Instead, you don't worry about the timing. You get what you need now, and you're prepared to be flexible and adaptable when they fall, if they fall. Take the unknown away, or actually take the fear of the unknown away. The unknown's always going to be there. Give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2502146. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the starting five, including comments from Tiger Woods about Pinehurst. Stick around.
We're jamming your June with championships. The NBA Finals.
The Celtics have finished the sweep. They rally again, and it's on to the NBA Finals.
The Stanley Cup Finals.
Reinhardt scores. The Panthers win Game 4.
The U.S. Open.
Payne Stewart is the 1999 U.S. Open champion. Oh, my.
Catch every winning moment with us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory Authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
You put sunscreen on when you go out in the sun. Did
Did you know that the sun could hurt your car, too? It's true. Keep cool this summer and protect the interior from fading and cracking with a custom window tint from Soundstation and Security. The sun's harmful UV rays can also hurt your paint on the exterior. That's why Soundstation and Security offers custom ceramic coating. Think of it as a little sunscreen with Soundstation and Security. 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
June is Men's Health Month, and to learn more, we're joined by Dr. Ashish Patel, an electrophysiologist with Wake Med Heart and Vascular. So you specialize in complex arrhythmias. Aren't they all complex when it comes to the heart?
Absolutely. They're all complex. Really, the terminology is referred to the fact that we provide specialty procedures for these arrhythmias. And as an electrician of the heart, what we will do is sometimes perform procedures like ablation, or pacemakers, defibrillators, various types of procedures to help patients.
Atrial fibrillation, or AFib, is commonly diagnosed as an arrhythmia issue. Does it affect men or women more frequently?
I mean, the distribution of AFib is fairly equal both men and women. And what we found is that in patients with atrial fibrillation, they have several types of symptoms, and it leads to a lot of problems. So we always have patients recommend that they get checked up for AFib.
Lot to learn. Thank you, Dr. Patel. To learn more, check out Wake Med Heart and Vascular at wakemed.org.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate at 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Comfortable day yesterday and today, but tomorrow we start a hot spell. Upper 80s for Wednesday, 92 Thursday. We're up to about 96 on Friday. There is no rain in our 7-day forecast, so you're going to have to do your own watering.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 120 points to 38,747.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The starting five, kicking off the 5 o'clock hour here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. As always, it starts with the number 5. U.S. Open, the practice rounds are going on in Pinehurst as we speak. And actually, just moments ago, Marty Smith of ESPN breaking the news that Jon Rahm. Oh, it's breaking news, you're right. Jon Rahm, one of the best golfers in the world, withdrawing from the U.S. Open due to infected toes.
Oh.
Apparently, they're being treated and healing with antibiotics.
Okay.
But the pain is still there, and he doesn't want to play in a tournament that he thinks he's physically incapable of winning. So there you go. John Rahm withdrawing infected toes. Maybe, and this is where it gets crazy, he's the lucky one. Because this course, Pinehurst, the USGA took over the course, and they are apparently going to make these professional golfers tear up. There are so many videos of, like, actually, I'll use Matt Gannon, who's a golf journalist, Action Network, and a few other publications, tweeted this out today. Brooks Koepka, Phil Mickelson, two of the very best short game guys in the game, right? Playing a very blatant money match, right? So they're out there gambling a little bit, which happens on these practice round days. Both have 40 feet for birdie on basically the same line. So they're on the same hole, basically the same line, basically the same distance. Brooks is a little bit further, so he putts first. Brooks with a very slow lag putt to 5 feet, right? Which is, that's what a lag putt is for non-golfers. You just want to get it close, right? Just get it up there, make your next putt a bit easier. Phil watches what Brooks does. Phil's one of the best short game players of all time. He watches what Brooks does, has a very similar putt, walks up. He also goes with a very slow lag putt, and it goes off the green. That's Phil Mickelson. This course is going to be absurd. It is these, turtle shell greens. Getting the ball to stop on the green is going to be difficult. Getting the ball to go where you want it on a putt is going to be difficult. Certain times it's going to feel like you don't even have to tap it. You just have to think about tapping it, and then the course will take on the rest. It is very, very difficult.
So to put a little context out there for when you say turtle shell green, imagine for those of us who maybe play miniature golf, a little putt-putt action, and the hole's on top of this mound, and like every time you put the ball up, it just keeps falling off the edge, and you just, on any side, that's a turtle shell green.
Only imagine it is also a major championship, and there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on the line, and legacy and history on the line. Tiger Woods actually got to the U.S. Open, got to the Pinehurst kind of complex last week for some practice rounds. He's been there this week. Cool moment with it being Father's Day on Sunday. His swing coach, you're allowed like one swing coach inside the ropes. Swing coach is his 15-year-old son, Charlie. Giving his dad the pointers. Keep your elbow in, Pops. Come on. Here's Tiger Woods on why he got to Pinehurst early and how fast the course is playing.
Nothing can simulate what we have here this particular week. The amount of little shots and the knobs and runoffs, and either using wedges or long irons or woods around the greens, or even putter. There's so many different shots that you really can't simulate unless you get on the property. That's one of the reasons I came up here last Tuesday and be able to try and do that. And we did quite a bit of work. The golf course has firmed up, gotten faster since then. And it's even this week, even the rain we had the other night, the golf course is still faster.
The roughs are impossible. The greens are fast. The fairways are narrow. It's going to be a test in perseverance. Credit to the USGA. They always make the U.S. Open interesting. I love hearing first-time U.S. Open players talk about their experience. And actually, the stories usually come on like Tuesday that are the good ones. The first time they play a practice round and they're just like, you're telling me I have to break 85 on this course or else it's going to be really embarrassing? Uh-oh. And then they usually, have the story of like, then I saw Fred Couples put a 9 on hole 3, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not just me thinking it's difficult. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Christian McCaffrey, the Madden cover athlete. Do you believe in the Madden curse, Dennis?
No, I don't.
All right, so Christian McCaffrey, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
The vascular Christian McCaffrey with the triceps bulging.
I saw this fun fact on online, And, Dennis, I'm going to give you 2 guesses.
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey is an active running back on the cover of Madden.
Okay.
Who was the last active running back to be on the cover of a Madden video game?
Adrian Peterson.
No.
No? Like currently active running back?
No. But like Barry Sanders was on like the
Like the
anniversary edition
one, yeah.
or whatever. But he
AP.
had already been retired when that was on. I'm talking about when the game came out, the player was active.
So it wasn't AP.
It was not AP.
Oh gosh. Okay,
You have one more guess.
Have been more recent than that then.
My hint is I think he ran for 1,000 yards one time in his career.
Oh, is it the Peyton Hillis?
Peyton Hillis.
Nice.
Peyton Hillis of the Cleveland Browns at the time, I believe. Ran for 1,000 yards and was on the cover of Madden. I believe it was a fan vote, and the dog pound, the Cleveland Browns nation, just loaded up the vote and ended up winning. But that is the last time an active running back was on the cover of Madden.
That's wild to think about.
So it just shows how not only devalued in like salary cap and contracts and payment the running back is, but in popularity, right? Because obviously quarterbacks are so often on the cover, but running like. I know you're probably of a similar generation. Growing up, the running backs were the biggest stars in the league.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Like it was
LaDainian and Tomlinson.
Marshall Faulk. I mean, Jerome Bettis from your Steelers.
Emmitt Smith, Priest Holmes.
Priest Holmes. Jackson. Who's the Jackson from the Chiefs?
Oh, Steven Jackson?
Oh, no, Steven Johnson. Larry Johnson. Whew. Steven Jackson was a good one, though.
Yeah.
Those were like the biggest stars in the league. Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
At one
Reggie
point in time,
Bush was the second pick in the draft.
At one point in time, the Dolphins said, we don't even need a quarterback on the field. We're just going to put an extra running back out there.
Yeah.
I mean, turn of the century running backs were something special. And now it's been since Peyton Hillis, since we've had a guy on the cover of Madden. So credit to Christian McCaffrey for making running backs cool again. Good on him. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is number 4 in the starting 5. Let's get to number 3 in the starting 5.
1, 2, 3.
Panthers mandatory minicamp started today. Everybody was in attendance.
That's good.
You know what that means?
What's that?
Nobody's played well enough to think they should hold out for a better contract.
Yeah, well.
After last year, can you imagine somebody's like, I deserve more than what I originally signed up for, as you can see by our 2-15 record.
Well, apparently Eddie Pinheiro did not kick today. I guess he's not happy with his contract situation.
Yes. The kicker. And my favorite part is Dave Canales said he didn't know why. I don't know why I kicked. Maybe it's a conditioning thing. I've got bigger fish to fry than the kicker right now. I've got a quarterback I have to rehabilitate back to his former glory. I have a wide receiver in Xavier Legette who is not practicing. I have a running back in Jonathan Brooks who is not practicing. I have an offensive line with a bunch of new pieces. I got to get back up to speed. I'll worry about the kicker another time. But you're right. Eddie Pinheiro might be, we're not 100% sure, might be holding in, which is kind of the new thing, because if you're not at mandatory minicamp, you get fined. So you can show up and not do anything, which prevents you from getting fined, but I guess still gets your point across. And you see that across the league a bit from players that are looking for more money. So maybe that's Eddie Pinheiro. Read the room, Eddie, if that's the case. Read the room. No disrespect, but you're a kicker. Read the room.
Loved it. It was a great day.
Play it again. Who was that? Was that Canales?
Yeah, who do you think it was?
Loved it. It was a great day.
I was talking when I didn't get a full listen to it. I'm so used to I'm ready to play football.
It's Big Dave.
Big Dave.
I feel great about playing
There
football
we go.
right now.
There it is. The other thing about mandatory minicamp, Jadeveon Clowney there. DJ Wanham, edge rusher, still not practicing, injured. Jonathan Brooks, running back, still not practicing, injured. Xavier Legette, wide receiver, still not practicing, injured. Those are, I mean, depending on where you put DJ Wanham, like 3 of the 8 most exciting new additions to the team. DJ Wanham being one of the edge rushers, maybe 9 or 10, I don't know. But they're all not practicing. And I just want to be on record saying I don't enjoy that.
Miles Sanders dealing with a heel injury. Did not practice either.
Not
DJ
as
Johnson got injured with apparently calf injury.
DJ Johnson getting injured, I do think, is a thing. Miles Sanders.
He's been at OTAs, but hasn't been working out.
He's perpetually on a snap count.
Yeah.
Well, I've said this on air before, but just because I had him on my fantasy team a few times in when he was in Philly, he's the most frustrating player in the world. Because he plays, but he can't play more than 20 snaps. He'll occasionally pop off a 40-yarder, and you'll go, all right, and then the next play he gets hurt. It's perpetually frustrating, Miles Sanders, so I don't expect anything less. The other guys, the DJ Wanhams, the Jonathan Brooks, the Xavier Legettes, I'm still optimistic that they won't be that type of frustrating. Miles Sanders, I accept it. That's what you get when you have Miles Sanders, and he costs $7 million. Awesome. That's number 3. Let's jump to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Are the Canes going internal with their GM? Frank Zaravala did tweet out that he's heard that the external candidates were told that the Canes are going internal, which would allude to an Eric Tulsky becoming the permanent GM. I would say Eric Tulsky he was the assistant GM for years, and then promoted to interim GM when Don Waddell resigned. Were the last 3 weeks a audition? Was there something that he could have proven in those last 3 weeks that made Tom Dundon go, all right, he's the guy? Was it I need to see him lead a meeting? Was it I need to see him interact at the combine with other teams? What was it? Or the other side of it was, did you strike out with the ones you really wanted? You wanted external candidates. You had your list, right? I talk about how athletic directors in college, owners in professional sports, all have the sticky note with names that they don't tell anybody it exists, but we all know it does. And when their coach, GM, whatever, gets fired, moves on, retires, leaves for another job, they go to that list and start making calls. Maybe the Canes cycled through it, which would be hard to believe, right? Because the Canes were the betting favorite to win the Stanley Cup for most of the year. And they have their young core, for the most part, locked up to a long-term contract. You would think that would be a very attractive position for, prospective GMs. I think they're scared off by the structure of how that front office operates. It's not traditional. Your GM doesn't have your final say. That's actually, I think, what most, the title. Am I a general manager? Am I a president of the team? Am I the president of hockey operations? Am I, whatever I am, I want final say. And if you don't give that, I think it's going to be hard to get your top GM choices. And maybe that's why you struck out with a few options, and now you're going back to Eric Tulsky. I said this earlier. I do think there are other skill sets that you need to bring into the decision-making room, but I have no problem with Tulsky being the GM. As long as you bring in a consultant, an assistant GM, somebody that fills that kind of Don Waddell side of the yin-yang, the opposite side of what Tulsky brings to the table. And hopefully he has a good idea for what to do with Martin Necas. Elliot Friedman on the latest with Martin Necas.
Carolina has either indicated to teams you have what we want, or you don't have what we want. And what some teams told me is that they're wondering if there's going to be some of those teams that were initially told by Carolina, you don't have what we want. Can they do a three-way deal?
Ooh. Let's get crafty, huh?
Get some other teams in the mix.
Let's get a 7-teamer going.
Be like, all right, we're going to send you Necas, but you got to give us picks, but they got to send us this player from this other
And
team.
then we're going to take one of these picks. We're going to send it to you, so you will take Jesperi Kokiniemi and that whole contract.
Yep.
And then you have to give us some other player. We get a defenseman, but we'll also consider moving the rights to Jake Guentzel over there. And is everyone happy? No? Well, how about you just take Martin Necas and pay us a lot for it? Like, sometimes I think the bringing in of the third team is just to make it feel more real for the team you're actually working on.
Mm-hmm.
So then when the three-teamer falls apart, they're so disappointed because they had all they'd already, the metaphor, they've already started spending the money. Like they already had Martin Necas penciled into their lineup when they thought this three-teamer was going to work. Third team pulls out, it falls through. They come back to you like, all right, let's just get it done with just us two because they had already imagined Martin Necas scoring from their second centerman position, and they already built the line around him, and they were already excited. So make it tangible, right? If I'm Eric Tulsky, I'm sending a custom Martin Necas like Bruins jersey to Boston, a custom Martin Necas Vancouver jersey to Vancouver. I'm sending it to them just so it becomes real, right? They open it up and go,
Just imagine.
Just imagine. Just close. Theater of the mind. Right? This is what radio is. Close your. Imagine. It's 1-1. Third period. Divisional rival. Martin Necas. Coast to coast. One-man wrecking crew. Learned from Kuzi the patience. Back and forth 37 times. Top shelf goal to win it. And you're the genius that made the trade that brought him to town. They chant your name. Bruins GM, Vancouver GM, whatever it is. But you don't want to pay extra, so it's fine. We'll go find someone else that wants him. No, wait. They chanted my name? Exactly. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
NC State advances to Omaha College Baseball World Series. Which means there's 8 teams in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them come right here in the triangle.
Let's go.
UNC, NC State.
Let's go.
4 of them come from the ACC,
Mm-hmm.
Florida State, Virginia, along with the 2 teams from the triangle. The other 4 come from the SEC.
So ACC, SEC showdown.
To me, this is a bit of like Sharks and the Jets going on here. Like, you can't mess with anyone. Remember during the remember during the Rangers game or the Rangers series when the Canes were playing the Rangers, it was like you can't have New York style pizza.
Nope.
You can't listen to Jay-Z.
Nope.
You can't
no bagels, biscuits only.
Exactly. Like you needed, it was only J. Cole, not Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Like you needed that kind of stuff. I think it's like you can't even interact with your SEC friends.
No, not allowed.
You know, you got someone in the office that is like a South Carolina grad. No, I'm sorry.
No, can't.
We're not on the same team right now. And in a weird way, you got to root for the other ACC teams blindly. I don't particularly like Florida State recently.
Nope.
They've been really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
They've been really making it difficult for the ACC to advance and operate, and they're suing people, and I don't like any of it. But I'm willing to put that aside if it means that the ACC gets to reign supreme over the SEC. Because, like, common enemies make us all united, right? And right now, the ACC has common enemies, and that's the SEC. It just means more. We just score more runs.
It means more.
Oh, it means more? Well, NC State just sent Georgia home on their home field. How does that taste? Dogpiled in Georgia, in Athens. How does that taste? Here's NC State's coach on NC State doing it the right way.
So unbelievable the last 10 weeks of the season. Ever since we went to Clemson, they've been as good a team as you can be. They do things the right way. They play hard. They run hard all the time. And they do things the way they're supposed to do it on and off the field. I haven't had a curfew here, and I don't think JT said like twice. And he played for me. He said I have one in 4 years here, but I haven't had a curfew like 10 years. You recruit men, you trust them, they trust you back, and you try to build something. And if you got the right people, that silly stuff like that doesn't even need to come in place. I'm just really proud of this team.
Also want to throw this out there. NC State baseball, some unfinished business from that 2021 ordeal, and that's kind of an if you know, you know thing, right? That was an opportunity that many felt was for reasons completely out of the players' control, they were unable to kind of settle it on the field, which is always frustrating. And now you look at it, and they're back in Omaha, right? They're back in Omaha. The introductions will be electric. The games will be high intensity. That city knows how to put on a college baseball World Series. Omaha, Nebraska does not play around. And with the SEC, ACC kind of added intensity, it's going to be electric. NC State, UNC, representing the Triangle. I want to see you two face off in the finals.
It's possible.
They're on opposite sides of the bracket. It's the only way they would match up. It would be in the big one, the big match. And I want to see it desperately. So make it happen for me and for yourselves. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Window Nation is extending its semi-annual sale that's 50% off all window styles plus 0% interest for 5 years and an additional bonus if you schedule an appointment this week. Justin from Window Nation came to my house not long ago to promote to educate my wife and I on how Window Nation is able to distinguish themselves from all the other window installers. And one of the things that stuck out to me was, like when you go to a restaurant and they give you the one sheet menu and there's like 8 things on it, and you're just confident that they do these 8 things fantastically, right? And then you go to a restaurant and they give you like an encyclopedia, and you're like, how in the world are you going to be able to do sushi and also fried chicken and also Thai fusion and also Chicago deep dish style pizza? It's like you can't be the best at all of it. Window Nation does windows, right? Sure, they might be able to do a door for you if you ask, but they're not coming in saying, yeah, we'll fix your plumbing, we'll fix your electricity, we'll put up a retaining wall, and we'll do your windows. They're experts at windows, right? So they can install those bunch of different styles of windows with the craftsmanship of an elite chef. You may hear similar offers from home improvement companies, but that's why I trust Window Nation. They truly are window experts, and they can explain as much. You hear it in their voice. You hear it in their passion. So go ahead and schedule a completely free, no obligation consultation right now. And if you do it by the end of the week, you get an additional bonus on top of the semi-annual sale, the Window Nation, which is extending their semi-annual sale. 50% off all window styles plus 0 interest for 5 years, and that additional bonus if you schedule your appointment this week. The number to call to set up that appointment, 866-90-NATION. So 866 90-NATION. Or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com. Right now we need some numbers game contestants. We have a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival with Willie Nelson and family, Bob Dylan, Robert Plant, and Allison Krauss. And it's all at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on June 23rd. That is a stacked lineup. If you want the tickets, you need to win the numbers game. We need 2 contestants to call in now. 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up.
It's time for our countdown to the U.S. Open, teed up by Talk It Out NC. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Australian Jeff Ogilvy had both occur in the final round of the 2006 U.S. Open. He buried a tough putt on 18 to set the clubhouse mark at 5 over par. Colin Montgomery couldn't come through, dropping 2 shots on 18, and Phil Mickelson, who only needed a par to secure the win, couldn't see straight and double bogeyed the final hole, handing the trophy to Ogilvy. There's your countdown to the U.S. Open, teed up by Talk It Out NC.
Houston, permission to detach boosters.
Negative, Commander. You're off course for the moon. Sensors show something massive on board.
Did you bring additional items?
Only the new loaded scratch-offs.
Those are loaded with $50, $100, $500, and $2,000 prizes. You're on a trajectory towards Mars.
Nice. First person on Mars. Take that, billionaires.
New loaded scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Massive amounts of prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.8 to 4.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. We're close to crowning a champion in hockey. When I'm not calling playoff games around the country, the first thing I do when I'm back in the Triangle is head to Buffalo Brothers, the best wings on the planet, and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, like half-price appetizers, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
It's here, the Chatley Boat and Marine Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats for 6 days only, June 10th through the 15th. Boats as low as $300 a month. Rebates up to $8,000 plus special financing. Large inventory ready for immediate delivery. All boats are water tested before delivery on the Chatley on-site test lake. The Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats, June 10th through the 15th. Open nightly until 6:30, Saturday until 3, only at Chatley Boat and Marine in Sanford.
It's Men's Health Month. WakeMed Primary Care wants to remind you to schedule your annual checkup. It's important to know your health numbers related to cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight, and BMI before it leads to chronic diseases. Focus on your health and preventing disease by building healthy habits and getting that yearly checkup and those screenings you've been putting off. To schedule your appointment, visit wakemed.org.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have as a prize today a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival with Willie Nelson and family, Bob Dylan, Robert Plant, and Allison Krauss at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on June 23rd. The competitors for the numbers game today on the line are David in Willow Spring and Sal in Morrisville. Today, how about we ask for U.S. Open picks? David in Willow Spring, you're up first. Who will win the U.S. Open and why?
Phil Mickelson.
All right, that's a nervous laugh of someone that doesn't follow golf, which is completely fine. Phil Mickelson is in the field, so at least you have a chance.
Okay.
Sal in Morrisville, the same question to you. Who will win the U.S. Open and why?
I think Scotty Scheffler. I mean, he is just on a roll lately. So I mean, you can't beat him. Guy goes to jail and he ends up winning, a couple of tournaments now back to back. So yeah, I think.
Well, the only thing that did stop him was jail. He did not win that tournament, but he's won just about everything else. Sal, you'll get to go first. David, I appreciate the effort, giving it a go. Maybe that's a lesson for the numbers game, right? Fire away, even if you don't have an idea. Sal in Morrisville, you get to go first. The categories are NFL Ken again, all players named Ken, Kenneth, or Kenny. NFL, it's all in the initials, all players whose first names are just 2 letters. NBA, current players only, or NHL, Canes and Whalers only?
I'll do NFL initial.
All right, these are all players whose first names are just 2 letters. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have 1 pass if you need it. Any last-second questions?
Nope, good.
All right, Sal, you know the deal. Your time will start when you hear the horn.
Okay.
DJ Chark, Carolina Panthers.
86.
Incorrect. AJ Hawk, Green Bay Packers.
54.
Incorrect. DJ Chark, Carolina Panthers.
38.
Incorrect. AJ Hawk, Green Bay Packers.
53.
Incorrect. DJ Chark, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Correct. EJ Manuel, Buffalo Bills.
1.
Incorrect. AJ Hawk, Green Bay Packers.
52.
Incorrect. EJ Manuel, Buffalo Bills.
7.
You got 1. You got DJ Chark with 17. I don't know if you noticed, the first one you guessed for AJ Hawk, you said 50, and I started to say correct. But then you went 4, and I went incorrect because the answer was 50. And I wasn't sure if you heard me. I wasn't sure if I gave it away, but then you continued guessing other numbers, so obviously you didn't.
No.
EJ Manuel with the Bills, he did not wear number 1, but it was a single-digit number. He wore number 3.
Okay.
So you got the 1. You got DJ Chark. Sit on the line. We'll see if that's enough to hold up, but good effort.
Okay.
That brings us to David in Willow Spring. David, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. The categories, luckily for you, no golf categories. We have NFL Ken again, all Kens, Kennys, and Kenneths. We have NBA current players and NHL Canes and Whalers only.
Let's do all Kennys.
Did you say all Kens or all Canes?
Yeah, all Kens.
Okay. NFL Kens again. All players named Ken, Kenny, or Kenneth. I'll give you the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You need 2 for the win. Any last-second questions?
Nope.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Kenneth Walker, Seattle Seahawks.
21.
Incorrect. Ken Stabler, Oakland Raiders.
12.
Correct. Kenneth Gainwell, Philadelphia Eagles.
Pass.
Kenny Golladay, Detroit Lions.
70.
Incorrect. Kenneth Walker, Seattle Seahawks.
21.
Incorrect. Kenny Golladay, Detroit Lions.
30.
So close. Kenneth Walker with the Seahawks. He's a running back, but it's one of those modern numbers that gets people hung up. He wears number 9. Kenneth Gainwell with the Eagles wore number 14, and Kenny Golladay, who some know as Babytron or Minitron, wore number 19 with the Lions before being a pretty good bust with the Giants. But you did get Ken Stabler with number 12. You got that one quick and confident, so you can rest your.
That was my age.
Well, all right. So there was an era. There was an era thing that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you both got one, the tie goes to whoever goes first. So you're not the winner, but hopefully you had some fun.
That's okay. Congratulations, and yes, I did. Thank you.
There you go. Appreciate you for calling in. That brings us to Sal in Morrisville. You are the winner, Sal.
Yay!
You are.
Kenny Golladay, as a Giants fan, is known as Mr. Glass. He stunk.
As a Giants fan, I think there are some money to like actual production that are pretty impressive. It's like $1 million a catch or something like that. So don't look up those stats. Those aren't fun for a Giants fan. But you are a true test in perseverance, Sal. If you don't get it right, you keep calling in until you win. Congratulations. You get the tickets to see Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan and Robert Plant, Allison Krauss. Congrats.
Thank Thank you. Appreciate you.
Go ahead and sit on the line, and Dennis will make sure you get the info, or he gets the info that he needs for the tickets. Right now, also, I want to let everybody know that golf's third major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we bring you the U.S. Open from Pinehurst. Our coverage is teed up by McConnell Golf, owner and operator of 16 private golf clubs, where members enjoy playing privileges at top-ranked courses. McConnell Golf, the best private club value from the mountains to the coast. We will be at Pinehurst tomorrow for our entire show and the Adam Gold Show directly before it, and it will be. I'll be getting there early, making our way around, checking things out, and reporting back to you. So I'll let you know the sights and sounds of Pinehurst on the show tomorrow. Right now, I'm going to let you know the sights and sounds of my partner, Capital Financial Advisory Group, and Coach Pete. Coach Pete has been revolutionizing the retirement planning game for decades. And with use of his GPI index, Coach Pete can help you do the things you need to do in retirement. Maximize consistent growth of your funds, protect your money from year to year, and build what he calls an income switch, right? Like you flip the switch, an income switch for you to flip on when you need to and want to. With the help of Coach Pete's Financial Fill-Up, you will receive guaranteed income for life. And how great is that? That even in the face of challenges like long-term care or losing a spouse, you will still receive that check. It all starts with Coach Pete and his fantastic fiduciary planning. Fiduciary, let's go ahead and say this tongue twister. It's a little bit slower for you. It all starts with Coach Pete and his fantastic fiduciary financial planning team at Capital Financial, analyzing your current financial plan to help you build in the 3 core components of a proper plan. This way, you can find the confidence to retire with the clarity and peace of mind you deserve. Whew. Luckily, calling up Capital Financial Advisory Group is much easier than saying that tongue twister. You give them a call, you let them know you heard about it here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, and you get hooked up with your very own GPI index score, and you learn how that valuable tool can work for you now and along your journey through retirement. So call right now, and Coach Pete will do all of this at no cost if you tell him I sent you. So call 800-691-3215. Say Tim sent me, or text Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700. Again, that's 800-691-3215, or text my name, Tim, to 600-700. We'll take a break. When we come back, we look ahead to the U.S. Open. We'll be there tomorrow. We'll talk about the opening of the tournament on Thursday and more. Stick around.
This Father's Day, give Dad the gift that keeps on giving with the Butcher's Market Steak of the Month Club. Dad will enjoy a fresh, hand-cut steak every month for 6 months, like a prime New York strip steak, a Brazilian picanha, a petite sirloin roast, and a thick-cut T-bone steak, just to name a few. Plus great bonus items like burgundy wine marinated mushrooms and so much more. The Steak of the Month Club is exciting, easy, and just perfect for Dad. Sign up today at any of the Butcher's Market's 6 Triangle locations or at thebutchersmarkets.com. Now open at Lake Boone Trail.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Triangle High School Hockey League update.
Hi, I'm Steven Ismali. I'm the president and founder of the Triangle High School Hockey League. High School Hockey League, we specify in the spring. We basically just give a chance for high school players to play in front of their schools. Everyone loves it. I mean, we get a lot of fans every game. Everyone just loves playing in front of their school.
Playoff brackets have been set. Leesville versus Millbrook will be Wednesday, 6 o'clock at Polar Ice House, Wake Forest. Also Wednesday, it's RC versus Apex, 6 o'clock at Invisalign Arena. Then in the combined semifinals, Cary takes on Greater News Friday, 8:45 at Invisalign Arena. Then it's Raleigh versus Chapel Hill Friday at 9:15 at Invisalign Arena. All playoff games are free, but for capacity control, spectators will need to register for wristbands at trianglehshl.leagueapps.com. Don't miss out on any of the free hockey fun. That's trianglehshl.leagueapps.com.
Triangle High School Hockey League update brought to you by CK's Plumbing and Backflow, Wake County's first choice for residential and commercial plumbing services.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add bow sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time!" So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some bow sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings. We are this close to crowning an NBA champ, and with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. It's super easy to get started with DraftKings if you're a first-timer. Try betting on something like a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that simple. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus same-day services available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. N76, visit staples.com/print for details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Father's Day is coming up this weekend. In time for Father's Day, we want to help you recognize dear old dad. Text DAD, D-A-D, to 919-860-5326. Click the link and nominate a deserving father figure in your life to win a grilling prize pack. Dear Old Dad is served up by the Carolina Ale House, where all dads get a free varsity burger this Father's Day. So you have to click the link and nominate a deserving father figure in your life to go ahead and win the grilling prize pack.
Free varsity burger?
Free varsity, that's for all dads.
That's awesome. I'm not a dad. I'm jealous now.
I qualify.
Yeah, go get your free burger, man. Those burgers are good.
Yeah. Maybe I will. See, it's one of those things where, you know, I feel like I don't really get to plan it. They got to plan it for me. They got to do that thing. But maybe I'll just be like, you know what?
Hey,
I'll be back in a half hour.
You know what? You go watch, and then you can. Well, you go there, get your free burger, and you watch U.S. Open.
Right. True.
It's not a bad day.
Not a bad day at all. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of the U.S. Open, let's talk about the U.S. Open, shall we? This is what I believe. I'm like a Masters nerd. Like my personal favorite is the Masters, but you know how like I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. You might have like a personal album that's your favorite.
Sure.
But you might acknowledge that like it's not the greatest album of all time. Just recently somebody asked me to rank asked a couple of us, like a group of buddies, to rank our top 10 hip-hop albums of all time. Somebody threw in Ludacris Word of Mouth, which he even said is objectively not one of the 10 greatest hip-hop albums of all time, but for him it was. Like, I have other tournaments I might like more because I don't necessarily love to see my golfers struggle, but I believe this is our country's greatest golf tournament. Right? I believe this is the United States' best golf tournament. It's the Abbey Road did you see Apple put out the best albums of all time, actually, the top 100? Maybe most influential or most impactful. I forget what they did, but Apple did it. It's a big thing. And the number one album was the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I don't necessarily agree with that. Great album, but hey. I believe, though, the U.S. Open is our country's greatest golf tournament. It's our most inclusive championship. The storylines in this tournament are impossible in other sports. Like, Dennis, if you got really good at golf, with absolutely no background, with absolutely no scout picking you out of obscurity, you could just go qualify and play in the U.S. Open.
I could. Maybe I will.
There are always stories of like a school teacher that teaches the middle school golf team and plays on the weekends and was, a scratch golfer in college, makes it out there and finds a way into the U.S. Open. That doesn't happen in other sports. It's not like, yeah. And when it does, it becomes a movie. Like the science teacher that becomes a pitcher, The Rookie, starring Dennis Quaid. Like, it happens every year in the U.S. Open. There's some pro or some weekend money player that's usually just gambling with their buddies that goes and plays in the U.S. Open. That doesn't happen. And then they're treated to maybe the greatest test in golf, the hardest course conditions. They make it absolutely brutal. And you get to play like side by side with the best golfers in the world. Anyone can qualify. You go out there, you're going to be sharing a locker room with Tiger Woods. You're going to be sharing a locker room with Rory McIlroy. It doesn't happen in other sports. It's not like I had a really good day playing pickup basketball the other day. If I do it again for 2 more weekends, I'm going to get to play with LeBron James. It doesn't happen. Tiger will be playing. You can take that out of what I just said. Here's Tiger Woods when asked if he can hold up for 4 days of major championship play.
Yeah, I do. I do. I do feel like I have the strength to be able to do it. It's just a matter of doing it. This golf course is going to test every single aspect of your game, especially mentally, and just the mental discipline that it takes to play this particular golf course. And it's going to take a lot. And we've been working on that and making sure that I understand the game plan and be ready, in 2 more days.
I genuinely think Tiger is the old, what was it, a Toby Keith song? I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. I think there's a point in these tournaments where if he's in the mix, he's going to flip the switch and say, I'm gonna ride it till the brakes fall off, right? If he's in contention, if he's top 20 after Friday, then he's going to say, like, this might be the last golf tournament I ever play, but I'm flooring it to the end to try to get one more. Most of the time, right, Friday or Saturday, kind of the slowing down happens, and you see him kind of go with all right, I'm just going to try to make my way around the golf course. I think there will be a time where he decides, this is as good as I'm going to get. This is as good a chance as I'm going to get, and he's going to floor it, and I will be glued to I might drive to Pinehurst if I see it happening. I might be like, sorry, I got to go see about a Tiger, and I'm just going to take off.
It's Father's Day.
Yeah, can't get mad at me.
Yeah.
As I make my way out of the driveway. Rory McIlroy, obviously always going to be one of the main characters at these majors. Here he is on adjusting his style over recent years for U.S. Open play.
Embracing the difficult conditions, embracing the style of golf needed to contend at a U.S. Open, embracing patience, honestly embracing what I would have called boring back in the day. Explosiveness isn't going to win a U.S. Open. It's more, methodically building your score over the course of 4 days and being okay with that. It's just more of a reframing of a mindset than anything else.
I usually, and this is one of my like little golf betting things, I usually bet on the Europeans when conditions are tough because the weather over there just makes them way more susceptible or way more comfortable being absolutely miserable on a golf course. Sometimes I think Matt Fitzpatrick likes it more when it's impossible to play well, just because of how he grew up playing in the conditions over there. Rory doesn't exactly get that benefit of the doubt. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, I want to tell you about my partners over at Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Just last night, my wife and I sat there. We were on the Bailey's Fine Jewelry website looking at the watches because they've got some new brands they've just brought in. Blanc Pond being one of them. Blanc Pond 50 Fathoms watch. It is one of the most iconic watches, one of the most iconic looks, right? Readily identifiable from across the room. The 50 Fathoms, it's a legendary dive watch. And now Fox & Bailey's Watch Shop has a partnership and agreement with Blanc Pond, so they can bring that in and they can show you, obviously, that selection, and you can purchase a watch that will, like I said, make a statement from across the room. It is classy, it is sporty because it has that dive element, and like I said, you can recognize it from across a room. So if you're looking for a watch for a special occasion, right, a wedding, some kind of gathering, it's something that can be a timepiece that is also a conversation piece. The watch shop is located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Raleigh's Village District location. You walk in the store, you look all the way to your right. That's where the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop is. You won't be able to miss it. It's a vibe that you can see from across the room. And in addition to many of their new watches, they also have a large selection of pre-owned timepieces. Matter of fact, the largest selection of pre-owned and vintage Rolexes in North Carolina. Stop by Fox & Bailey's Watch Shop, Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's at their Village District location, and make sure they know I sent you, Tim from 99.9 The Fan. Overdrive is coming up next here on 99.9 The Fan, talking NC State baseball, making it to Omaha. Tomorrow we will be live from Pinehurst, so tune in for that. Check it out on the YouTube live stream. You can see the range behind us when we're having the show tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you are as well. Enjoy Overdrive. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.